Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for your patience, and welcome to New Jersey Transit's 2024 Accessibility Forum. My name is Juliet Herndon. I'm the Director of Title VI and Environmental Justice in the Office of Civil Rights, and I will be your MC today. I am also joined by my colleague and co-MC, Iris Pagan.
Hello, my name is Iris Pagan, Compliance Specialist, and I will be assisting those that have joined us virtually.
Thank you, Iris. Before we begin, we have two sets of instructions for you. First, for those presently in the room, please pay attention to the TV screens for a brief safety announcement.
In the event of an emergency at NJ Transit, your safety is our top priority. Please pay attention to the following safety instructions. In case of an emergency, announcements will be made over the loudspeaker or by a uniformed police officer. The main exit for this location is the stairwell, located in the lobby next to the elevators. There is a second staircase through the door behind the dais on the right, under the exit sign. If necessary, NJ Transit Police will call 911, administer CPR, and use the defibrillator located near the elevator. Fire extinguishers are located in the front and back of this room. Please do not approach the dais. Documents can be presented to staff at the entrance of the boardroom. Please follow the directions of the NJ Transit Police and staff. Thank you, and have a safe day.
Our second set of instructions is for our virtual audience joining us via Zoom, courtesy of our Zoom event manager, Christian Sandino. Christian?
Good afternoon. My name is Christian Sandino, and I will be supporting the Zoom portion of today's Accessibility Forum. For those of you who have joined us via Zoom, you can access the meeting controls located at the bottom of the meeting window at any time. Just move your mouse in the Zoom window to display your meeting controls. Please follow along as I review your meeting controls to ensure that each of you are fully equipped to engage with the various segments of this afternoon's forum. First, let's ensure you get the most out of your Zoom session by maximizing your view and making it full screen. To do so, just double-click anywhere in your Zoom window. You can exit full screen by double-clicking again or by using the escape key on your keyboard. As a Zoom attendee, you are participating on a view-only basis. To make a comment, you will first need to be provided permission by me or a meeting host. Permission will only be granted for purposes of making a public comment during the public comment portion or to ask a question during the Q&A after the presentation. The raise hand button is what you will use to indicate that you want to speak during public comment and or ask a question to the presenters. Once you raise your hand, the host and I will be notified and you will be called to make your comment during public comments and or ask your question during Q&A. For the purposes of making a public comment or asking a question, we will need to enable your microphone and camera. If and when you are recognized to make a comment or ask a question, you will receive a notification in your Zoom window about being promoted to a panelist. Once this occurs, you will be prompted to unmute yourself and start your video and turn on your camera. By doing so, all participants will be able to hear you and see you for the duration of your comment and question. When your time is done, your role will be changed back to a view-only attendee. The Q&A button is available for you to submit any questions you have at any time throughout the duration of the forum. Should you encounter any technical difficulties related to Zoom, please don't hesitate to submit a question through the Q&A feature, and either myself or someone from the team will promptly assist you. To ask your question, click on the Q&A button, enter your question into the Q&A box, then click Send. Select Send anonymously if you do not want your name attached to your question in the Q&A. Iris will either reply to you via text in the Q&A window or answer your question live. If Iris replies via the Q&A, you will see a reply in the Q&A window. If she plans to ask or answer your question live or out loud, you will see a notification in the Q&A window alerting you to this. Finally, closed caption has been enabled for this session and can be used by participants to easily follow the conversation. Just click on the Show Captions button and captions should appear. The provided captions can be clicked and dragged to move their position in the meeting window based on your preference. Thank you for your time and your patience, and I hope you enjoyed today's Accessibility Forum.
Thank you, Christian. At this moment, I'd like to welcome Mr. Ed Hoff, Director of ADA Compliance in the Office of Civil Rights, to commence today's forum.
Thank you, Juliet. As Juliet mentioned, my name is Ed Hoff. I am the Director of ADA Compliance in the Office of Civil Rights here at New Jersey Transit. It is my responsibility to ensure that our agency complies with state and federal laws pertaining to accessible transportation, including the Americans with Disabilities Act, as well as seeking ways beyond the minimum requirements of the ADA to provide a best-in-class travel experience for our customers with disabilities. To those joining us in person or attending this event remotely, it's my pleasure to welcome you to New Jersey Transit's 2024 Accessibility Forum. This is the fourth Accessibility Forum, which we first piloted in 2022. I want to thank the team at the Office of Civil Rights, our New Jersey Transit partners that will be presenting today, and our technical support team for helping make this event possible for our audience online. The Accessibility Forum is our way of saying in a loud and clear voice to our customers with disabilities and their allies and advocates that we see and value you. Your needs related to services are important to us, and we see being responsive to those needs and exceeding your expectations as an integral part of our goals and mission. Having this forum and the opportunity to engage with you in this way is a function of the visionary leadership that moves this organization forward. Our president and CEO has made inclusion and accessibility important aspects of everything we do here at New Jersey Transit. And now it's my pleasure and privilege to welcome to the podium our president and CEO, Kevin Corbett, to provide opening remarks. Kevin.
Great, thank you, Ed, and certainly good afternoon to everyone, both who are attending both in person and certainly virtually. I would like to say take a moment just to reflect that it's September 11th, and certainly it's the 23rd anniversary of the 9/11 attack. And if you look at, we saw how this region and the whole country came together remarkably so at 9/11 and the period after that to do great things. And the very values that were attacked and the people who were attacking them had a very different set of values. And I think that showed the best of what we can do as a region, as a country, and certainly, in the same spirit, I think that's the same thing when we look at seeing what the best of where everybody in this country reaches potential. Certainly, the work that Ed and the entire team here do is really important in that light. In that spirit, certainly special thanks to our ADA compliance director, Ed, as well as certainly our whole Office of Civil Rights, and would also like to thank all the presenters we have today. And I must say, for the members of the public who are here, particularly in person, Ed mentioned that we started this, 3-4 years ago. And of course, that was when we were coming out of the pandemic, so you weren't going to have as much, in person, and it's so much better to have a room full, and hopefully we'll see how many are online as well, but to really help, see that we're building momentum for this effort. And, so this forum, I think, since last June was the last one. Since then, we've introduced several technological initiatives that aimed at enhancing our system-wide accessibility and the whole improving the Access Link paratransit system and the whole customer experience, particularly for those who need the accessibility improvements that we're working on. I think I'll touch a few comments just in the last year. Certainly Access Link riders, the Riders' Choice Program, I think we've made as an example of some of the commitments and the ongoing efforts that we're making. It's not just checking the box and say it's done. We're always looking to improve, and I know the team feels that way very much. I think as you know, last February we had Access Link customers in region. We added Region 4 and 6, which includes Mercer, Monmouth, Middlesex, North Ocean, Bergen, Passaic, and Hudson counties have been able to now opt in and lift for the Access Link Riders' Choice pilot program that we started, and are now have been able to opt in with the opportunity to receive their rides through Lyft or Black and White Taxi. And for those customers who do not opt in, that's fine. They continue to have all their trips serviced by our current Access Link providers. As many of you are aware, we launched the program last year in May, partnering with Uber and Lyft in Regions 2 and 5, which include Essex, Morris, Union, Somerset, Burlington, Gloucester, and Salem County. So we're really seen a lot of success for the program, and we're really glad we could expand it. And I think since May last year, we've provided approximately 350,000 rides through the program, and the customer feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. with many noting reduced waits and overall trip times. I was also note we're always under pressure as a transit agency to do more with less, with the budget pressures. And the other advantage of this is the program not is only providing better service, but we're able to do it more cost effectively. So any of you who are interested, please get more details. Can visit njtransit.com/accessibility for more information. And I think you'll be hearing a lot more about the innovation initiatives from Chris Tucker later in the program. And Chris is our Director of Customer Experience for AccessLink, amongst many other talents that Chris has. But beyond the new pilot program, though, I think we've made significant progress over the past 6 years in modernizing our standard AccessLink paratransit service. And those improvements include the AccessLink Online, which allows customers to schedule rides, check the estimated time of arrival, pick up vehicles, and prepay fares electronically through a feature that I know has been quite popular, Easy Wallet. We have also introduced a dedicated AccessLink mobile app, which we see more and more people adopting, who really just need to focus on that aspect of New Jersey Transit Services. And from what we see, we're providing a user-friendly interface for making, canceling, and monitoring reservations. And again, as you go through any of these improvements, we think we're doing a good job, but if you see room for further improvement, please give us that feedback. I think some other tech-focused accessibility improvements were, some of you may have followed. We got some good press on it, which I think is good so to get the word out, but was our partnership with MagnesBode. NJ Transit is now assisting neurodiverse customers on our bus, rail, and light rail systems with the help of Magnus. And Magnus is an illustrated character within the free Magnus Cards app, and with that, we see you can scan if you see it on our various stops or by our stations, the decal. You really can just use the app on a mobile device and get real-world images to aid neurodiverse customers, such as those who are autistic, who could use extra guidance navigating the system on public and their experience on public transit. Another tech-focused improvements include enhancements to our website to make it easier to use, and in that sense, we created a central hub on our website for all accessibility-related information at njtransit.com/accessibility. And that features an overview video with the many services, as well as easy-to-use links to specify information, specific information and informational videos. In addition, our mobile app and website Trip Planner also now features accessibility icons, prominently displayed next to the name of all fully accessible stations. So you'll see that ensures that customers who need accessible stations can see whether the station they want is accessible, and if not, where the nearest one is. And we also now have that. Also shows the status of every elevator in our system on the mobile app as well, so that you can see if an elevator or escalator is out. You'll know that rather than getting there and being frustrated. And that's more on the tech side. I think infrastructure. I think as we're trying to do the same. Need to put some context. Most of the system we have, we're an old system. Our first station goes back to 1844, I think, in Chatham. And so a lot of our infrastructure was built in the 19th century, much less the 20th. And of course, we know what the approach for dealing with accessibility was then. But unfortunately, we were created 45 years ago. We inherited a system of bankrupt railroads and bus companies in their stations, all of which were in very poor state of repair, and very few were accessible stations. And we're now not letting them get that in our way. We've been tackling through our capital program, prioritizing stations. It's a very expensive operation to rebuild stations with platforms, elevators. So we are picking off in order as best as we can, prioritizing those stations. But last year we announced the award of an additional $425 million in federal funding for New Jersey Transit from NJDOT through the Federal Highway Assistance Program, the annual redistribution program, which will support 15 capital projects. These include a new pedestrian tunnel at Long Branch, along with accessibility upgrades at Roselle Park and West Hessing Avenue. And just this few months ago, in June, our board approved a contract for the second phase of our Brick Church Station project, which got a lot of publicity with major improvements and renovation of that station, including all making it fully ADA accessible. And that was a major grant that we received from the Federal Transit Administration. And for anybody who's down in the Elizabeth area, if you've been to our new station, we had the grand reopening just also in June, and that was a $75 million investment, including all new high-level platforms, new elevators, climate-controlled shelters, the artwork. I mean, it's just really a beautiful station. Very happy how that came out, but certainly a fully accessible station now compared to what it was. And looking to the future, Perth Amboy Station project, which is now well underway. If you go to Perth Amboy, you see that, and that's supposed to be completed in the second quarter of next year, and that will also be fully accessible. Similarly, Lyndhurst Station is also will be completed second quarter of next year, again with high-level platforms, station buildings, elevators at both sides of the station and both buildings. And overall, our 5-year capital plan includes the installation of new elevators, station upgrades, site improvements for not just Roselle Park and a number of other stations, and these projects will start in 2025. So later today, I think you'll be hearing Ed Blanco will walk you through a number. He's our Director of Program Management. We'll walk through the details on a number of these projects. And, you know, these initiatives, I think, collectively are really a significant stride. It's a long way to go. We have a lot of stations, and, you know, as I say, it goes back to the 19th century, but we're making more progress in the last few years than we have made in the 40 years beforehand. I'd say the last 5 years, Ed, I think we've done more and are doing more now than we had done in the previous 40, so very proud of that. I think, you know, it should hopefully be clear to everyone that New Jersey Transit is trying to do our best, but certainly that, you know, from the top down, from myself down, we are fully committed to continuing to work to maximize that accessibility. And that commitment, as I say, is enshrined in our 10-year strategic plan that we came out with, the NJT 2030 strategic plan, and it's one of the part of 5 overarching goals, which is to provide a stronger and fair economy for all communities in the region. So I think hopefully you feel that way. Hopefully you're seeing progress. Certainly let us know what we could do better. But as I said in my opening comments, you know, we certainly want to see everybody in New Jersey or anybody who rides our system reach their full potential, and anything we can do to help that and help make their lives easier and more enjoyable while living and traveling through New Jersey. Yeah, I know everyone here is committed to that, making that happen. So with that, Ed, I turn it back to you.
Thank you, Kevin. It's also my honor and privilege to ask our Chief Administrative Officer and Senior Vice President, Banu Thomas, to say a few words. Banu?
Thank you, Ed. My name is Banu Thomas. I serve as the Senior Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer here at New Jersey Transit. In my role, I oversee civil rights, human resources, procurement, and information technology departments. Additionally, I'm entrusted with ensuring our agency's adherence to federal and state civil rights laws, particularly the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, which directly impacts our customers. ADA compliance is a responsibility I hold with utmost seriousness. It is central to our commitment to providing our customers with disabilities full and equitable access to our services and programs. Today, I am here to reaffirm to our customers with disabilities that we not only see you and value you, but we also stand steadfast in our efforts to surpass your expectations concerning the accessible features and services we offer. This forum is an opportunity for us to continue our dialogue on New Jersey Transit's dedication to accessibility. We are also excited to introduce, as Kevin just mentioned, several new initiatives and projects related to accessibility across various departments. I just want to thank Ed and the team for putting this together and for all their efforts. I thank you all for being here. Like Kevin mentioned, it's great to see a full house in here, so it's wonderful that you're here. We deeply appreciate your thoughts, concerns, and insights. I'll now turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Banu. Although the 2 previous speakers were introduced and gave their titles, I'm not sure everybody might not understand. We're talking about the very top of this organization, as Kevin mentioned. When you have initiatives or you have a want to do something it's critical that you get that initiative started at the very top, and we are blessed to have that in this organization. I thank both Banu and Kevin for their leadership in helping make New Jersey Transit a much more accessible and inclusive travel experience for our customers with disabilities. Thank you both. As we begin our forum, I want to review with you an outline for how today's going to go and handle a little housekeeping. As mentioned, this forum is both an in-person and online event, with the online component being carried on Zoom and YouTube. For those of you joining us in person, the forum will largely be the same way as any other public meeting you may have attended. For those of you joining us remotely via Zoom, your virtual experience has been designed to be as true to life as though you were here in person. For those watching via YouTube or recording of the session afterward, you also have been considered. Clear instructions will be given to manage the in-person and online attendees. The American Sign Language interpreters on the screen will be translating the entire forum, and the forum has been organized so that public comments, presentations, questions made virtually or in person will be shown on the screen and captured for the recording. I'd like to thank our ASL interpreters today for joining us and helping us make this a more inclusive event. Today's forum will really take place in two parts. First, we'll hear from you on your thoughts related to accessibility via our public comment section. In the interest of time, all public comments will be limited to 2 minutes per commenter. And to support our interpreters in identifying speakers, we ask that all public commenters to say and spell your name at the beginning of your public comment or question. Following public comments, the second part of our program will begin, where you will hear brief presentations from several offices within New Jersey Transit on the subject of accessibility. Following all the presentations, there will be a brief question and answer session about what was shared, and that will conclude our forum. Following the forum, we will post a survey to get your feedback about today's event and how we can improve it for the future. Also, we will be asking about additional comments that you might have. So know that this is not the end of the conversation, but the beginning of one, and we want to always continue to make this event better. With that, I'll turn it back over to Juliet to start our comment section. Juliet?
Thank you, Ed. So we will now start our public comment portion of the program. During the public comment session, we will receive comments from attendees related to accessibility at New Jersey Transit. The public comment session, as Ed mentioned, is not interactive. Therefore, we will not be responding to any comments made at this time. All comments will be noted for the record. Please hold your questions for the Q&A portion, which will follow the presentations. So we will start public comments of this forum with a special comment by Citizens Advisory Committee member Sally Jane Geller. Then we will proceed with those who join us in person, followed by those who join us virtually via Zoom. For those joining us in person today and would like to make a public comment, this is your last chance to be added to the list. Please get the attention of Jeanette, who's in the back of the room, and your name will be added to the list. We will call you in the order that you signed up. For those of you joining us virtually that would like to make a public comment, please click the raise hand icon on the bottom of your screen. You will also be called in the order that you raised your hand. You can also type your comment in the Q&A button, and Iris will read your comment out loud. Ms. Geller, please approach the podium next to me to deliver your comment on behalf of the Citizens Advisory Committee. Here? I don't? Okay. Are you virtually? No. Okay. We can just go straight to. Sally, if you are virtual, please raise your hand if you would like to give a comment virtually via Zoom. It doesn't appear that she's on virtually. If she comes, so we can, okay. So we'll begin the in-person public comments. As mentioned, all comments from the public will be limited to 2 minutes. We have a timer that we'll be using. It's located on the podium. You will be alerted when you have 30 seconds left and when your time has ended. When you begin, please introduce yourself, and if you are here on behalf of an organization, please provide your organization's name. Please be sure to spell your name so our sign language interpreters can use it. So I'm going to go in order of the list that I have. The first public comment is by Gino Genova. Would you like to come to the podium, please? You don't have a comment? Okay, that's okay. I'll go. The next person is Phil Harrison.
Thank you for this opportunity to address the forum. My name is Philip Harrison, Philip, Harrison, Harrison. I'm a resident of Atlantic County, a member of the Scattered Tab Citizens Advisory Committee. I am not speaking on behalf of the committee at this meeting. At the last accessibility forum, I asked the forum to answer several questions. I am terribly concerned that Ocean Ride refuses to allow its handicapped residents to go to dialysis. It won't allow any of its residents to go to dialysis, but I think it is an ADA violation that they single out handicap, will not take them to dialysis. I think in addition to an ADA violation, I think it's a violation of NJ Transit regulations in which you in recent regulations require that the counties take residents to non-emergency medical treatments. I asked questions at the last one. I said I felt this was totally unjustified. I believe it's a violation of NJ Transit regulations, ADA. Do you agree with me? If you agree with me, what are you going to do about it? If you don't agree with me, please explain why. Access Link, after the pandemic, needed substantial help from Uber, and that did help out quite a bit in the days after. But Uber has created many problems. They often do not come to the right site for pickup. They often do not drop you off at the right site. Just 2 months ago, I was saved by a New Jersey Transit employee as I waited at the spot that Access Link told me to wait. A New Jersey Transit employee, staff member, found my Uber waiting around the corner, not at the location they're supposed to. They see the white cane and they see the white cane or the guide dog and they cancel. They don't help the rider get in the car. They don't announce. Many do not speak English. Please drop Uber. I think we should have all Access Link vehicles. If you need supplemental help, get a company that its employees are trained to help the disabled.
Mr. Harrison, thank you for your comment. So before we go back to the in-person comments, we do have Sally Geller, who is would like to make her comment on behalf of the Citizens Advisory Committee virtually. Christian, can you please assist with that?
Yes, I can certainly assist with that. Currently, we have 7 attendees named guests that have their hands raised. So we can go through each of them until we reach Sally, but is that okay?
Yes, do Sally first.
Hi, can you please let us know your name?
Hi, my name is Amanda, and I am from, I recently moved to Mays Landing, New Jersey. I am also hopefully going to be part of the Scatter Attack Committee, but I am not at this meeting because of them. I am a wheelchair user and I have been using Access Link for quite some time, and I do appreciate all the services that Access Link provides. With that being said, I currently live outside of the radius, literally just a mile. So every single time that I want to use Access Link, my mom or my dad has to get me to a local Wawa. If my van is not working, that could be unfeasible. And that happens to a lot of people that are in wheelchairs and a lot of people that need Access Link. If they live outside the radius, they have to be driven somewhere, which totally defeats the purpose of public transportation. I am not trying to downplay transportation in any way. I do appreciate our services that we have in New Jersey, but something really needs to be done about this. And I will not stop speaking until something is done. So thank you so much.
Thank you for your comment. I'm going to continue with the in-person comments until we can help Sally get her comment up virtually. So the next in-person comment is from Fred Smith. Please make sure to spell your name so that sign language interpreters.
My name is Fred Smith. Fred, F-R-E-D, Smith, S-M-I-T-H. I want to thank members of this board or commission for having this educational program and representing people of disability. I have been very blessed benefiting from the services through Access Link, but there are some challenges, and I would like to comment on two. One would be Lyft and Uber. We know COVID brought a lot of challenges for disabled people, and drivers, insufficient drivers and other things brought in Lyft and Uber. And so with Lyft and Uber coming in brought challenges. One of the things I'm experiencing right now, it's been over 2 weeks since almost had an accident in Lyft where my cell phone fell under the seat, and I communicated with the driver. Up until now, I haven't gotten my phone. And with this phone has the app on the phone, enable us to call Lyft anytime we want ride. I haven't been able to use Lyft through that Uber because all my information is in the phone and stay with the driver. The driver wanted to extort me. I'm going to give him $60 to bring my phone back. I complained to Access Link to help me get my phone back, and it has been a challenge. There is no customer service to Lyft that you can call and tell them the behavior of the driver. And Access Link that's supposed to represent us, not doing it, they leave the challenge between us and Lyft. That shouldn't be that way. They sign a contract for us, for Lyft to represent us. So when we have a problem and we give it to Access Link, they should be able to work with us. So that is a concern. My phone is still with them going to 2 weeks now. My other question is that we need to hire disabled people as an employee because most of the people are not sensitive to our need. I would be willing to work in customer service to answer concerns. So that would be my suggestion.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Smith, for your comment. Our next comment is by Yasmin Mohammed. Okay, thank you. Kathy Moore. Would you like to come here, or you can use the microphone?
Biggest problem is that there's no way to reach the driver. It is no way to reach the driver if there's should be you should reach at least driver just to indicate that there is a problem. And side and we can't get to you that we can't make it out, we fell or something happened, how do we get, or how can we tell you we're on the other side and this happened? Another entrance. How can we get direct line to tell you that? Please do that.
Thank you for your comment. Our next comment is from Elizabeth Ripley.
Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Rixby, R-I-G-S-B-Y. Before I give the comment, I didn't pay the guy for church. I left my keys and got the van. Hospital from the daycare center that I was in, and I asked them would they leave my keys at where I was living. And they called me and told me they found them, but I'm never. Comment that I like to make is that I'm just starting a new route because of the accident. Just getting where I can travel a little bit farther than where I used to. Going out to watch places like that. Accident with my power chair, my riding up to a certain limit. So now, doctor has Harlem, New Jersey. Because the fact is, I had cancer, which I survived twice. Therefore, unfortunately, it messed up my gum. So when I was in rehabilitation, just getting out from 6 months of that, and I had surgery. I have been taking me back.
30 seconds remaining.
And when y'all took me, make a long story, I never did transfer before, and I was afraid to do that, but unfortunately, when the driver picked me up, and destination Edison, I thought that y'all were just gonna take me out there and just leave me. God, they're gonna leave me out here. So just parking all by myself, they're praying, reciting, and everything. But I thank you all. I just want to thank you because you all sat there and you waited until the next ride came before you left. I transferred. The same way back.
Thank
And
you.
I want to appreciate that because
Thank you for your comment.
I was really scared that y'all was going to take me out in the middle of the parking lot because I had before. This happened. Pay some money. Elm Street. Elm Street.
Ms. Rigsby, thank you for your comment. Thank you. Thank you. Our next comment is by Emmanuel Steplight. Okay, thank you. Johnson Darlany.
Good evening. I'd just like to say thank you very much to the forum. The room has already been addressed, so thank you. Many of the points I wanted to touch base on has already been addressed. I won't go over them. But one of the points I wanted to address is that number that you give us to call, access link, the 973 number to get through, it takes quite a while to get through to someone. And by the time we do get to someone, that's rather you're checking to see where's my driver or in the morning to make the reservation. But there's a 90-minute window where you guys have placed us in that the driver cannot come back and get us unless we're within a 90-minute window. Now, that's not considered the 90 minutes of how long a driver will be, but a 90-minute, we are told, this is a shared ride. I don't want to hear that no more. This is a shared ride. You just sit there and wait till we get there. This is a shared ride. Okay, if I leave my house at 10 o'clock, I optioned for appointment at 9:30, but you couldn't get me there, so I called the doctor and got in. But then 90 minutes have to pass by, and then possibly it may be 3 o'clock before I get back home. 3 o'clock in the evening. And so there needs to be a little bit more transparency with we've heard from you guys at the top, but there is another level, and that is the customer service, who also need to probably be reinnovated on how they address each and every one of our issues, whether it be emergency. It took us so long to get through, and then once we got through, oh, you're late cancellation or a no-show. Yeah. Fired twice, or kicked off the program twice for 11 different assaults that they said that I late show, no show. But 7 of them, I came up here with my walker and argued 7 of them was found not even true because customer service didn't take the time to listen.
Thank you for your comment. Our next comment is by Angelo Montoya. Montoya? Okay. Our next comment is by Sarah J. Doulard. Our next comment will be Justin Jordayo. Okay.
Where do I stand? What's your name? Juliet. Hi, my name is Justin Jordayo, and I'm 19 years old. I've been using Access Link since late August 25th, 2023, which was a Friday. I have a good memory. So I'm gonna give you my real honest opinion on Access Link, but I'm gonna try not to be nasty about it. There are some things I like about it. I really love how you have like all these kinds of vehicles, due to me being a car enthusiast. I really like the way that you have like a variety of vehicles, buses, cars, some minivans, all that kind of stuff. I also love the drivers. A lot of them are very nice. I only had a problem with 2 of them. The biggest one being, I had a driver, just to tell everyone, I'm sure a lot of people know who knows me. I am a big Swiftie. I love Taylor Swift. Do any of you like her? I asked the driver at my destination, do you like Taylor Swift? And then he was like, no, I don't. Now get off. Not mentioning the driver's name. But although I do have 2 favorite drivers, well, one's a dispatcher now. I really suggest putting that dispatcher back to being a driver. Her name was Ashley. I can't remember the last name. But here are some of my complaints. Sometimes the phone people shut the phones off when you're trying to get through. Second being, I wish it was always a straight ride and you could bring multiple people with you, not only one person, instead of having to share the bus with all these other people and then having to do these multiple drop-offs, especially for the ones in wheelchairs, because it does take a while to get them on and off.
Okay. Thank you for your comment.
Of course. Is that a timer? I
Yes.
was always wondering what that was.
Timer. Just a reminder, the comments are 2 minutes, and the timer will turn yellow when you have 30 seconds left, and the beeping is at the end of when your comment period is over. The next comment is by Joseph. Do you want to make a comment? Can you come to the podium so we can hear you?
day. My name is. I'm sorry, wrong one. Good. Good day. My name is Joseph. Josaphi. Iannuzeli. The comments in reference to Uber. Some of the times, just want to make a note for housekeeping that the location is not exact. Such as example here, myself, when I came to here, the destination, instead of exactly in front of the building, it put me on the other side of Penn Station. So that needs to be addressed. And I think because they use Uber, they use Waze as their GPS. And the other comment is in reference to the note that we use Uber for our access link with the rides, scheduling rides. And I know that Access Link is paying over the $30, and we are responsible for $2. Sometimes it says $15 or $16. I don't understand how come the app only shows over $41 when it should be only $2. Thank you much.
Thank you for your comment. Our next comment is by Karen Hall.
Hi, I'm Karen Hall with the C, CarenHall. One good thing, a few good things about Access Link is it gives us independence. One thing about being disabled, you don't ever want to be a burden to people. So not having to rely on my grown children to drive me around or friends with cars is a great asset. And I really appreciate it. But like a few people said, there needs to be people that work in customer service that have a disability. I've applied 100 times. I have 25 years customer service experience, so I would think I would be a great help to an organization that services people with disabilities. And the second, the Uber and Lyft is not bad because you don't get the shared ride thing going on, but one thing, Uber and Lyft, the decision has to be made sooner than it actually is being made, because I'm on both programs where I get Access Link, the regular bus or car, and I do Uber and the choice program. So I've gone down, I'm in an elevated building, I've gone downstairs when I'm thinking my regular ride is coming, only to be getting a text saying, oh, your Lyft will be here in 15 more minutes. So just make the decision sooner for the Uber and Lyft. And I guess that's it.
Thank you for your comment, Ms. Hall. The next comment will be by William Graves.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. I think Access Link is great. I argue with y'all all the time. But we need to have Access Link throughout the entire state. We have veterans. I represent the blind vets for the state of New Jersey. And we have blind vets who cannot get to any hospital because they are out of the range. We're living in the United States. The last time I could see, we had roads everywhere. So why is it that we have a vet in Hazlet, New Jersey, we have one in Howell, New Jersey, that is a half mile from where they can get a vehicle? This is ludicrous. I use you all the time. I love you. I call and complain. I call and tell you when it's good. And there's one thing I think y'all should do. Everybody should work at Access Link, not at home. I've talked to dog in the morning, the bird at night. These people are not doing their jobs. If you need more people, let us know, because we probably know people who would like to be operators. Because we need your service. And I love your service. I talk about it all the time. And you have some drivers that, as other people have said, do not need to be in your organization. One of them left a blind gentleman at the VA hospital at 5 o'clock at night during the winter. We had to admit him to the hospital so he had somewhere to stay that night. We had another driver who I almost broke his neck because he said he was not going to take a gentleman who had a wheelchair. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.
Thank you for your comment. Our next comment is by Brandon Scott. And would you like to use the microphone or the podium?
Hello. Oh, which direction? Okay. Okay. Hello, my name is Brandon Scott. Thank you for having me. BRANDONSCOTT. I'm from Eatontown, and I am also representing Motion Center for Independent Living. Great to hear all the wonderful comments. I'd like to just state for the record that I really do enjoy the Rider's Choice program. I'm currently using the vouchers, and it's been a great sense and source of independence and agency, and allowed me to make a lot of decisions and get to places that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to. However, I'd like to also state for the record, to go along with many of the other things that other individuals using the program have stated to make the improvements, I'd like to hope that we are working towards working with our transportation partners, and I use that we very, very loosely. The we, so that we can, our non-ambulatory, non-transferable passengers and participants, the people who we are and who we love, can also experience the freedom of having the option to choose when we go, where we go, and get there immediately or without a shared ride. So thank you, just for the record.
Thank you for your comment. Our next comment is by Jay Prakash Patel. Do you want the microphone? Okay, Jeanette. Please be sure to talk directly into. Thank you for your comment, Mr. Patel. Our next comment is by Ross Neal. Oh.
Where's the, oh, here it is. This is it? Good. Neil Ross, Neilross. It's okay to call me backwards. I've been called worse. Since there's only 2 minutes, I will be as brief as possible. Bottom line, I've got a number of issues, but it would be nice when I call people at transit with concerns and I leave messages that they return my call. I've waited months or years for department heads at transit to return my call, and I'll leave numerous messages. As well, when I get a hold of someone, and I'll use rarely access, like mostly the fixed route or the routes that should be fixed, when I call either the TIC or customer service or anyone, it would be nice if I ask a question to get a correct answer or some answer at all. That's rarely the case. Also, when you call the TIC, the calls will drop 3 or 4 times. Phones should be working at transit. You should be able to hear one another. Again, I ask little out of life. To be able to communicate with people at transit, ask questions, get answers. I'd like to be able to board a bus, ask the driver to make sure it's a correct route and get an answer. Have the lights on in the aisle so I can see where I'm going, not trip, not accidentally sit on someone, because a lot of times the lights are out. The announcements for the stops are never made, if ever. They're not working. When I exit the bus, I got people boarding while I'm exiting. There is no rule. If there is a rule, it's not enforced. This shouldn't be where you call daily, one driver at a time. There should be general policies and training for all the operators. Here's how to drive the bus. Here's how to open the door, close it, and do various things. And make sure the seating is again, I will stand if need be and give my seat to someone. But if the people are sprawled out and you've got groceries and you just want to get them out of the aisle so people can pass, and other customers are just sitting blocking the aisle and refusing to move, there are a lot of issues that need to be addressed. Again, Neil Ross.
Thank you for your comment. Our next comment is by Wanda Williford. She's coming.
Sure, thank you. I just want to make, my name is Wanda Williford, W-A-W-I-L-L-I-F-O-R-D. I am an access link, and I am blind, and I want to kind of piggyback on what Harrison said earlier. I am a part of the registered. Me, I just want to get there safely. However, what I would like is to be able to communicate with the driver, and there have been instances, unfortunately, where I was dropped off in the wrong place and the driver did not speak English and I could not communicate with him or her. So although the voucher program is wonderful, it gives us a lot of independence and saves us a lot of time, as the other gentlemen have said earlier. However, being able to communicate with the driver, especially if they're blind or low vision, is so, so important, because again, I've been dropped off in the wrong place, and I've had to call people and have them come out and escort me into buildings and things of that nature. And I've also had to use a visual interpretation app, which is, it's an app you call someone, a human being assist you, and things of that nature. But with that being said, Again, the Riders Choice Program is, I have to say, I love it, and I love the voucher program. I just would love the ability to be able to communicate with the drivers. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. We have 6 more in-person comments. I'm just going to read through them. Richard Piedrak? Would you like to make a comment? Yes, I would. Okay. Jeanette?
Can I have the microphone, please?
She's coming right now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Richard, R-I-C-H-R-A-R-D, P-I-E-T-R-Z-A-K, Peterzak. I live in Bergen County. Recently, I had a problem with your service because I go to HIPAA Bergen County. I didn't get certified there, but I go there for meetings and so forth. I used your service. And I tell the dispatchers, the State Street entrance, the rear entrance, since it's a hub for certification, all the drivers should know how to get there and how to get in there. But when I left there on the 3rd of September, the driver was in the front of the building. He was supposed to be in the back. I was almost left. And that's the 3rd time this year that happened to me. And I am not happy. So I don't know what you should have to do. Either HIP has to give you a better direction, or you guys have to have better, because I say State Street entrance when I call. So I don't understand. And then I get the driver, well, I don't know how to get in the back. It's called GPS. You got the GPS right there. It should show you how to get there. That's my main comment. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Our next comment is by Antoine DeVore. She'll bring the microphone to you.
Antoine DeVore, A-N-T-O-I-N-E-G-E-V-O-R-E. My thing is with Access Link, because I have to use it. That's basically how I get everywhere I go. But a lot of the times, it's either I'm waiting on hold for a very long time. I'm not able to do none of the electronic things that you have. So I can't use the apps or none of that stuff because I don't have anybody to assist me with me to do all of that. So my thing would be is, like it's already been said, when you call, please have someone call you back, and during your busy time, allow the reservation line to stay open a little bit longer. If you see where where it gets busy, instead of them closing at 4 o'clock, have them close at 5 or 6 o'clock. Because if you were already on hold, then you're trying to get through.
Thank you for your comment. Our next comment is by Terry Faber.
Hi, Terry Faber, T-E-R-R-Y, Faber, F-A-B-E-R. I'm on the Port Authority Pathfinders Council, but I'm not officially representing them today. I'm here to talk about the challenges faced by those of us with intellectual disabilities, particularly on the fixed route services. And while I'm extremely grateful that my personal disabilities don't limit my ability to access transit, I frequently work with people that experience those disabilities. And there are many low-cost communication-based changes that I'd recommend to improve the experience on those routes. I'm just going to go over one today to give other speakers more time. NJT is the only regional transit system without any live chat communication. MTA and PATH both have WhatsApp. NJT ought to add a live chat feature to enable people with accessibility concerns to reach out more directly to train engineers, train operators, customer service personnel, and otherwise communicate without impairments. The benefits of such a service are pretty clear, relevant to just talking on the phone and waiting for however long it takes to get through the obtuse phone tree. And people should be able to be accommodated at every level, at every reasonable time of day, wherever they are. And just one last comment on general meeting procedure. I'm grateful that you've added a virtual option since the fare increase hearings a few months ago, but please hold meetings outside traditional work hours and with foresight that enables people with accessibility challenges to access them regardless of where in the state they live. Thanks.
Thank you for your comment. Our next comment is by Robert Weeks.
Would you like to? Right here, sir. There you go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Weeks, RobertWeekes, and my problem is I want to say thank you for the lift, what's going on in New Jersey. I'm using Access Link for a couple of years now, but my problem is I book a ride to pick me up at 100 Mulberry Street, but the driver parked across the street. I cannot cross that street in the middle of the block. It's not safe for me because I don't know what these cars are doing. Now these cars sound so quiet, they look like a bicycle can be flying past me. So I cannot cross Mulberry Street in the middle of the block, and I think that driver will go away and leave me. And never mind, I call again, and the next driver come and did the same. I had to get assistance to find that one. So something needs to be done. I tell them I need to be picked up at 100 Mulberry Street. The reason why I use that location because there's no car can park on that side of the street. It's easy to me to find that car, but across the street there's a lot of vehicles parked there. So we need something to be done about this, and we need some action. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Mr. Weeks. Our next comment is by Jerry Ruth. Yes. She can bring the microphone to you, or do?
Thank you, sir. Yes. Yes. Hello. My name is Jerome Ritter. Most people call me Jerry. Okay. I go to a church in Pennsauken. Well, it's Merchantville. It's Martin Luther Chapel. And my concern is when I make the reservation to pick me up on 4100, what is it, 4100? I'm trying to think. It's 4110, whatever it is. I asked to go to the red doors, the parking lot with the red doors. But sometimes they go to the other side. Because one time I was waiting on the side when they were supposed to pick me up, and I had two other ladies in walkers. They picked us up on the terrace side, and I said, let me just walk over and see what happened a couple months ago. Let me see what happens, and there it was. And then I said something to the driver. I said, we're on the other side. Well, I don't know the area. I think I reported that. And that's all I have to say about that. 4100 Baker Avenue. The red doors. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next comment is by Ernest Fiore.
have more time with the public forum. But anyway, I'm Italian, so I talk a lot, so I'm gonna make it brief. But I have two complaints, two comments, excuse me, and a few complaints. I feel that, you're serving the public, disabled population. There should be stop signs on the vehicles, because a lot of people don't respect the disabled, okay? I know you have cameras, I found that out, which I didn't know. You had it on the side of the vehicle. But they should have stop signs, because I was in Philadelphia a couple of years ago, and the side streets of Philadelphia are like cobblestone back street driveways. I had a SEPTA bus, the driver's putting the ramp down before my power chair, and he's beeping, and he's trying to wedge his way through what she was doing. And I said, mate, do you see? I'm disabled. You see what she's doing? Are you blind? And I was so angry at him, I almost took my walker and smacked it on his bus. He made me really angry. So I took his bus number and his number, and I routed it to his boss. They found out who he was. He got fired. The reason why, because he did it before, okay? That's what I'm saying. You need to have some stop signs. You got cameras on the side. That's one good thing. But you need to have stop signs where it opens up, just like a disabled bus for kids. Disabled is disabled, whether you're old or young, okay? So they need to have that. Also, I appreciate the Easy Wallet. My friend has to help me with that, but not everybody has a computer, okay? So we're dealing with all kinds of people. Some have cognitive issues. Some of them are not tech savvy. They should have a debit card, because the regular buses, New Jersey Transit, they have a debit card. Because my friend goes on there and he uses that. I usually use the Access Link bus that comes to me. But they should have a debit card where you can load up the money and then just swipe it. Because the drivers, this is out of respect to the drivers, they deal with a lot of people and sometimes bad people. They have a tough job, okay? My thing is, why are they carrying little bucks of change here? If they go in a bad area, we live in a crazy world. They could be robbed for a couple bucks, their life set line. I had to bring that out because 95% of the drivers are very professional that I've seen. But there are a few bad apples. I have to make a comment real quick about the phone quality is poor, okay, trying to reach people, and the customer service is not such customer service. Because when I call them, they rush me to get off the phone. I said, well, you're supposed to be customer service. I'm giving you a complaint. And they hear, that's disrespectful, okay?
Thank you for your comment.
You know,
We
but.
have to limit them to 2 minutes. We have
Yeah, I know, that's.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your comment.
So much for the public forum. Okay.
Our last in-person comment is by Sheila Hunt.
Hello, my name is Sheila Hunt, SHEILAHUNT. My first complaint is that me and my sister live right around the corner, and y'all would send 2 different vans for us to go to the same place, which is a waste. Especially when we live right around the corner, you could use that van, that truck, to take another customer to get them on time to their appointments. I done complain about this every time I make my reservation for me and my sister. Y'all still send 2 vans, and I'm telling you, we live right around the corner. A lot of the drivers, they always ask me, why is they sending 2 separate vans for y'all? Y'all live right around the corner, going to the same location, and we pulling up right behind one another. Now, my second complaint is because I'm in a scooter. I live on a one-way street. Your guys, my house is on the left-hand side. They supposed to pull to the right so they can let me off. They let me off in the middle of the street. They park in front of my house and let me off in the middle of the street. Y'all don't do nothing. I complained about this several times, and y'all still not doing anything. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you for your comment. And this concludes our in-person comments. We will now proceed to the virtual participants. So we'll have the same instructions. When you begin, please introduce yourself, and if you're here on behalf of an organization, please introduce their name, and be sure to spell your name and organization so it can be used by our sign language interpreter. You'll also have 2 minutes. Christian will enable your microphone and camera, and you will then be able to unmute your microphone and turn on your camera if you wish to do so. At the end of your 2 minutes, your microphone and camera will be disabled. We'll be using a timer, and I will alert you when you have 30 seconds left. Christian, do we have any comments by participants joining us virtually?
Yes, I have promoted the first attendee to a panelist. You can now unmute yourself and start your camera to ask your question. Please give us your name before starting.
Good afternoon. My name is Adam Reich, ADAMREICH. I am asking this panel principally to reevaluate the interactive process or lack thereof that is provided when one asks for a disability accommodation. My experience with this goes both to a request for dedicated masked cars on New Jersey Transit to meet the needs of high-risk New Jerseyans, including those who are immunocompromised, and also with request for a virtual hearing for the fare hike hearings earlier this year. The response I got was a written response denying my request, or no written response whatsoever. If you're denying a request, the law against discrimination requires an interactive process. At the very least, have a phone call or have a dialogue to find a reasonable alternative. Simply saying no, especially at the end of the business day before the hearings began, was wholly anything but an interactive process. The mask car issue remains important because for those of us who are in a high-risk category, creating needless density on board is problematic, and it puts us at risk for complications from infections like COVID-19. It's also a problem if you have a mobility issue, if you have an incontinence issue, to either have a longer wait for a bathroom or having to ask a crew member to open a car up so that you can get to a bathroom. I asked New Jersey Transit for a dialogue outside of this forum on this issue and others, in particular making disability accommodations a more interactive process than it has provided thus
30
far.
seconds remaining.
I would also ask that as a courtesy in the future, because some of us cannot attend an in-person gathering for health reasons, to alternate in some way between in-person and virtual speakers. You make us feel like second-class citizens if you always make us wait at every hearing to speak second. I would also encourage a longer speaking period. I would go into greater detail if I had even 30 seconds more. I would suggest a 3 to 4 minute comment period in the future as a way to have a more complete and thorough dialogue and understanding of the issues. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you for your comment.
Okay, our next guest has been promoted to a panelist and will be given the opportunity to unmute themselves and start their camera. Please go ahead and unmute yourself, start your camera, and give us your name before starting, please. Okay, it looks like we lost that one guest. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next guest. You should now be able to unmute yourself. Please give us your name and feel free to start your camera if you'd like.
Thank you. My name is Michael H. Michaelh. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Great. I want to bring up an issue that this is my first time speaking before the board today. I have to think this has been brought up before. I hope it has been, and I hope it gets addressed. Residents of Hudson and Bergen County have the disadvantage, unlike those who live upstate, of having a handoff location between one paratransit agency and another. If you live upstate, you could have an easier handoff with a New York County paratransit if you want to continue your trip into New York. But if you live in Hudson and Bergen County, you have this body of water in the way called the Hudson River. And unfortunately, Access Link will only leave you, practically abandon you at the foot of the George Washington Bridge with the expectation that you can make your way across, even if you're in a wheelchair, even if it's inclement weather, to cross if you want to continue your trip into New York City. Both Access Link and MTA's Access Ride will not cross the bridge. Now, I know Port Authority usually handles bridge crossings, but they do not offer a transit service nor shuttle. Neither agency will help the other agency with a pickup. So you're leaving, especially physically disabled passengers, in a terrible predicament of having to physically cross the bridge on their own. Now, with the Rider's Choice program and MTA's e-hail program, you both have the options of having Lyft and Uber, but neither will allow those services to cross the bridge. Not even to Uber, Lyft to Lyft. I'm begging, I'm imploring board to please address this issue, whether to begin a dialogue with the MTA or the Port Authority to address this issue, especially for
30
those
seconds
who
remaining.
live right on the waterfront. Seeing just a few blocks away, they can continue their trip into New York City. This is a metropolitan area. One would expect, just like New York counties can have handoff points, that MTA and Access Link could have, and New Jersey Transit could have a handoff point, rather than just abandoning somebody at the foot of the in Fort Lee at the foot of the bridge. Please, I implore you, please address this issue.
Thank you for your comment.
Okay, moving on to our next attendee. You've now been prompted to unmute yourself. Feel free to start your camera and give us your name before starting with your question.
Sure. Hi, Sally Jane Gellert, Gellert. I am the the chairperson of ScatterTech, the Senior Citizens and Disabled Riders Transportation Advisory Committee, also of Lackawanna Coalition. On behalf of ScatterTech, I want to say that our meetings are on the fourth Thursday of most months at 10:30 in transit accessible locations in Trenton, Camden, and Newark. And we invite all to join us there and to bring us their issues directly. We are also pleased that our video recordings are now posted on a site called S-Rides on New Jersey Transit. If you search sridesnjtransit.com and scroll down, you will find the link to see the records of our previous meetings. Now, as a personal comment, I have compliment and appreciation first. Thank you for using Zoom, which so many people became comfortable with during the early days of the pandemic. It's a step forward for New Jersey transit accessibility, and it would be good if the monthly New Jersey Transit Board and Board Committee meetings would also use Zoom. However, in many ways, the accessibility stops there. Afternoon meetings are inherently discriminatory against those who work a typical full-time schedule. Are you assuming that the target audience for an accessibility program are not full-time workers? May we assume that you are not truly intending to discriminate against individuals with disabilities who work full-time? These folks would surely have a lot to contribute to this meeting, but they are earning paychecks, not free to drop everything for 2 hours or more in the middle of the afternoon on a workday. Let me talk a minute about accessibility. There are features that make something accessible: curb cuts, elevators or ramps, audio recordings of written material, alt text on digital images. There are also barriers to accessibility, but in general, these are not barriers for everyone. A service that can be reached only by passing through a barrier is quite reasonably designated as inaccessible, but it is not inaccessible for everyone. For those whom the barrier is not a challenge, those in good physical shape to navigate a staircase who don't need an audio recording of visual information, for them that service may be characterized as accessible. Ending that service does not make or improve accessibility for anyone. For those who use the service, it is gone. For those who cannot use the service because of the barriers, it was never there. And its closing does not magically bring an accessible service. You may realize that I'm talking about Kingsland Station. Regardless of what is built at Lyndhurst Station, closing Kingsland, which your own documents show serves an average of 290 riders per day, does not give one bit of extra mobility to any disabled person. There are issues with the location of Lyndhurst Station. The parking lot is across a busy street with no overpass for pedestrians. The roads are not suitable for bus traffic, so the 76 bus cannot be rerouted to stop in front of Lyndhurst Station, as it now stops in front of Kingsland Station. The minor change in percentage of accessible stations that would come from closing Kingsland Station is not worth cutting off many Lyndhurst residents from their local station, as we heard loud and clear at the public hearings in Lyndhurst. Regarding alt text on digital images, I hope your social media department is now able to do what I do on the websites that I manage and put accessible alt text on every digital image you put out. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sally.
Okay. Our next attendee to ask a question has turned on his camera and will go ahead and unmute himself at this time. Please give us your name before asking your question.
My name is Christopher D. Grice, advocate for people with disabilities and other committees on transportation. If I mention all of them, already 2 minutes will expire. Good afternoon. I'm Christopher D. Grice, G-R-E-I-S. If you say grief, I will cause grief, and I don't want to have to do it right through the screen. I want to make it very clear. Everyone had a really good point. But once again, Jersey Transit, you have still not followed the ADA regulation of signages or directing customers for seniors and people with disabilities, and as well as the veterans. We need to make clear that safety is the number one priority in any states we're in. We need to make it very clear that person can connect from New Jersey to New York to Pennsylvania to anywhere they have to go. We need to be very careful when we travel on transportation. We leave them behind, that means we're stranding them. We cannot do that. That is in violation of all safety. We have to work on the safety. We have to work on transportation with signages, everything. Especially when a train is on another track, how is a wheelchair or walker supposed to get on that train? They don't have magical powers. We're human beings. We need to be treated. And I will ask you guys, if you're having accessible meetings, please make it easy to register, please, because some of your registration is not ADA accessible friendly. I encourage you, please, to continue working with the 21st century, and please take our complaints very seriously, because what I'm hearing is not acceptable for any parent transit customers to travel. We need to think safety, and we need to make sure they get to their doctor's appointments safely and on-time performance. I understand their share rights, but at the same time, timing has to be worked on. Communication as well. That's why there are apps. Some cannot use the app, but at the same time, letting them know when the vehicle is 2 minutes away or a block away, so let them know that they're in position. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Okay, our next attendee has been prompted to unmute themselves and to start their camera if they would like. Go ahead and give us your name before your comment, please.
Good afternoon. I want to enable my camera, please. Thank you very much. I want to, for the record, my name is Jason Anthony, Jason, and I'm with the Long Island Railroad ADA Task Force. Like Christopher D. Grice said, New Jersey Transit Corporation is in violation of the ADA federal law. And first thing first, when on New Jersey Transit rider is using a train from New York Penn Station, when elevators are out, you guys don't have signages for accessible reroutes. We don't see that. And also when we spoke to customer representatives at Penn Station, New York, they didn't know how to answer a simple question. Also, when we submit complaints to the website, it's not user-friendly like the MTA does here in New York. Also, there should be all meetings mix of in-person and virtual, like the MTA has been doing since COVID-19. Also, when you guys are going to have two things, one, accessibility person that is dedicated only to accessibility issues. That's one. Because here at the MTA, we have a person dedicated to that, remaining. And his name is Kimel Arroyo. Second, when you guys are going to finally have a customer service advocate, it has been over 5 years since last time New Jersey Transit Corporation has one. We're still waiting. The MTA has one, and she is brilliant. So we need to advance to the 21st century, not to the 19th century. So
thank you for your comment.
You guys need serious ADA training ASAP. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next attendee has their camera on already, and we'll go ahead and prompt them to unmute. Please give us your name before your comment.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Bhavana Raval. BHAVANA RAVAL. I have so many complaints, and I do believe me and my family is discriminated by the access link and their staff. Calling them for the complaint, they hang up the phones and never ever give out to the supervisor, period. And leaving the message, supervisor never call us back. The one of the things, me and my parents not enroll in a program 1.0 and 2.0, the 2 weeks ago, so, actually 3 weeks ago, somebody called me to from the September 1st, we're gonna be enroll you in a 2.0 program. Until today, it's not happened. I did receive the one of the message from the lift. His name is different person, not my name. And Access Link not ready to fix that program. The last week, the driver arrived to pick me up in my home. To my father recently admitted in a rehab center. We wanted to go to visit him. The driver came. He saw my rollator, walker with the seat, and then he says that to me, I have to climb up the steps. How did you hire those drivers to forcing me as a disabled person more than 18 years to using the access link? I'm blind and handicapped, and he was forcing me to step
20
up.
seconds remaining.
And I did complain for that. Until now, in this moment, Access Link never ever called me back. For all those things, not only that, so many times we has to be wait in the mall for the different door. We couldn't able to contact the driver. So many times they not show up on time. We have to wait. And many times nowadays, you guys calling us to, okay, your driver gonna be arrived soon, but they calling on a time, but driver not come until 35 to 40 minutes.
Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your comment.
So when you gonna be reach out to us?
Christian? Christian, do we have additional participants who would like to make a comment?
Hello? Hello?
Or would you like to make a comment?
Yes, no, I'm sorry, nobody's speaking, so I didn't realize. Okay, my name is Daniela, DANIELLA Robinson. And I think that's all I'm supposed to show you. Okay, so my complaint actually pertains to this accessibility forum. I'm totally blind, Access Link user for many years. So I go to the njtransit.com/accessibility forum website. It gives general information about the meeting today. It says for more information, click here. I click, up comes a PDF file. It gives more information about the forum. It says that Zoom is an option, and it says for more information, click here. And it takes me right back to the njtransit.com/accessibility forum.
There was no information on how to register or be on with Zoom. Each time I tried, I called customer service. I was treated very disrespectfully, very dismissively from the customer service person who answered. She did not say with her words anything wrong, but she was very disrespectful and dismissive and attitudey with every other paraverbal cue she could muster, and wasn't even trying to pretend that she wasn't. As if I was inconvenient, she would not listen to me. She was not attempting to comprehend what I was needing, what I was saying. What she did tell me was that they don't post the Zoom credentials or any of that information until the day of the webinar.
30 seconds remaining.
Okay, I didn't think that was accurate, but she was all I had. I came on today, still not accessible. I finally get someone in another department, not her responsibility. She ends up emailing me a link. Apparently, and of course, I don't know as a blind person, but there is a graphic up there that shows you how to do Zoom. This is an accessibility service. You ought to know that a significant percentage of us who are blind, we cannot see, we cannot access digital graphics. We need text to speech because we're using text to speech screen access programs. If it were not for that one person being able to help me, I would not have even been able to attend this forum on Zoom. You ought to know better. That is not acceptable. I had no one to help me. Please use text to speech for any information that's going to be relevant to your disabled, particularly your blind and visually impaired.
Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your comment. Christian, do we have additional participants?
Yes, I prompted them to unmute themselves. Go ahead and start your camera and give us your name before your public comment at this time, please.
Hi, my name is Ketan Doshi, Ketan, last name Doshi. There is a lot of problem going on for last many years. I do not think no one pay attention to those problem and not be corrected, which is required to I need to come in personally to address that many problem which can be easily corrected, but they don't want it to do it. And therefore, this is a very serious issue. If problem not going to be resolved immediately, I have a no choice to go to the court to fix all this problem. This is the services providing very poor service is not acceptable at all, and people live with the pain and problem is not acceptable at all. And this is the 2 minutes forum is not participating, give you enough chance to addressing that kind of problem. And I request you to, I need to address to give you the list of problem which they never corrected, and the customer service and all the staff need to be retrained properly, including the driver. They do not know what to do and how to provide the services, and making us so difficulty to travel whenever they do not follow the manifest. To if I have to get down and I'm passing by that, they're running around for a long time to dropping us. And when we try to call them, they
30
cannot able to
seconds
change the
remaining.
route. The person who's routing, who are not trained and doing the crappy job. I would prefer to come in person to address that multiple problem. If not, then you're going to see the case in the court soon.
Thank you for your comment.
Okay, our next attendee has been prompted to unmute themselves and already has their camera on. Please give us your name before starting with your public comment.
Hello?
Hi, we can hear you.
Oh, hello. I just got on. My name is Rhonda Vaden. The only thing that I really want to say is that when we are picked up and we are dropped off, sometimes I just want to know, why is it that if you pick someone up and they're riding for an hour before they drop you off, so like in other words, they pick you up, they can bypass your house even after they pick someone else up and bring them there first, and they're riding past your house to bring the other person home. That's one of the issues that I do have. And the other one is, how come when we book a trip, we have to um, wait like an whole hour and a half, almost 2 hours before they can pick us up? So in other words, if I book a trip and I have to be there like 10 o'clock, right? And say I'm finished at 10:45. Why do I have to wait almost like 11:45 or 12? Because that's the time frame window to be picked up. Not just for me, I'm just saying in general what I'm speaking.
30 seconds
So
remaining.
those are two um, questions that I do have regarding Access Link. And sometimes the driver will pick you up, and then you could be the only one or maybe another person on there. They don't say, oh, I got to pick up another person or anything. I don't know if they supposed to make the passengers aware of that, but that's just something I wanted to know.
Thank you for your comment.
Okay, our next attendee has been prompted to unmute themselves. Please feel free to start your camera and make sure to give us your name before you start your public comment. Okay, guest, are you there? Otherwise, we'll move on to the next one. I'll go ahead and prompt you to unmute again. Okay, moving on to the next attendee. I'm gonna go ahead and prompt you to unmute at this time. Please feel free to start your camera.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, this is Kim Rivera, KIMRIVERA. I'm calling on behalf of my son, Ryan Peterson. He's been an Access Link rider for well over 20 years. In 2023 was the worst service I've ever seen from Access Link. So bad that I started writing a journal in June of 2023, which came in handy when Althea branch wrote me a final warning letter of 5 things that she thought was wrong, which I was so glad I had the journal because I put it all back on Access Link for their poor service. But over that year, at least 3 times a week, I was on the phone complaining to customer service. I've marked dates down that I actually asked for a manager to call me and then noted it on my letter back to her. No one's ever got in touch with me, which tells me even more that no one cares. I feel for all these people that talked ahead of me. I share the same problems. It's just a disgrace. And I just wanted to tell Mr. Hoff also that ADA, I've emailed them twice and I've never gotten a response from them either. So the service really needs improvement. Your scheduling department especially needs improvement. I've seen a little bit of improvement in customer service, but not as much as could be done. Thank you very much.
Okay, our next attendee has been prompted to unmute themselves and has their camera on. Please feel free to give us your name before starting with your public comment.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Amanda Shirelli. First of all, I use Access Link out of Region 3. I recently moved down to Mays Landing. I've been using Access Link for over 10 years, I would say now, and I am permanently disabled. I have cerebral palsy. I work for an independent living still called Motion Center for Independent Living. In order for me to use Access Link, I have to get to a local Wawa, and my parents take me with my accessible van to a Wawa. Now, there's not many people that have accessible vans out in the world here. So if they have to get to if they're out of the radius and they have to get to a location, well, how are they getting there? And second of all, there's a lot of times where my parents are not available to drive me. So with that being said, how am I using your transportation if I can't access it? And third of all, AccessLink has been saying that they are expanding routes. Well, when I call to ask what addresses you're going to, and I give them addresses that they were previously not going to, they're still saying that they're out of the radius. Well, my question is, well, where did you expand your routes to then? If you're telling the public that you're expanding your routes, well then let us know where they're being expanded to. Because when I'm asking customer service, where are you expanding your routes? Nobody really has an answer. So if you're telling the public that you're expanding routes with AccessLink, well, then you need to give them more information. And
30 seconds remaining.
I would have been at the meeting today in person, but because I couldn't get to the Wawa today, that prevented me to get to the meeting in person. Or else I would have been sitting there with everybody else in that meeting in Newark talking about the issues that I have. So thank you so much.
Okay, our next attendee has their camera on and has been prompted to unmute themselves. Please give us your name before starting with your public comment.
Hello, my name is David Pranitis, Pranitis. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, very good. My comment relates to the segment of your AccessLink client population who is physically able to ride the fixed route regular city New Jersey Transit buses. This Rider's Choice program that you have instituted is terrific because I'm sure it takes a load off of the minibuses, which are needed by people with special physical needs. And it does provide a tremendous amount of flexibility for everyone in terms of timing and scheduling and so on. However, for certain cognitively impaired individuals who are AccessLink clients, there is an advantage or a couple of advantages to riding the fixed routes when available. There are cognitive development skills that are developed, as well as social inclusion skills that are developed by riding a fixed route bus. And so there's an advantage to these people to ride the fixed route buses when possible. Now, recently, New Jersey Transit has instituted a policy of expiring the paper one-way tickets within 30 days. This is a disaster for the disabled population who want to ride these fixed route buses. I probably don't have time in the 2 minutes to explain why it's such a disaster. But if you think about this Rider's Choice program, there's a proposal I'd like you to consider, which is to expand that program a little bit to include the possibility of an AccessLink client choosing the option of either having the vouchers, which you're now providing, or
20 seconds remaining.
Or having a monthly bus pass that they could use instead of the Uber or Lyft ride. This gives them gives New Jersey Transit the 30-day expiration limit, which they seem to need for some reason. And it also gives the client the flexibility to use the fixed route buses when they want to or they need to. So I hope you would consider that proposal seriously as an alternative. So the AccessLink client could choose, in other words, either get the Lyft vouchers for a given month or get a monthly bus pass for that given month. To me, that would be a highly practical expansion of this Rider's Choice program for your AccessLink clients. Thank you. I hope you'll consider that.
Thank you.
Okay, our next attendee has their camera on and has been prompted to unmute themselves. Please go ahead and give us your name before starting with your public comments.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
We sure can.
Okay, Sylvia Gee, Ghee. My concerns is the rewards program you have. I don't know why you guys just don't give a Visa card after we acquire so many points, because to pay to go to some of these places is to defeats the purpose of having the points, because you're paying it back into the travel time. So I think you should look into a Visa program. After we get to $100, just give us a Visa card. Another thing as well, the 800 number, you guys need to have that, because if we're calling you and we're being put on hold for 30 minutes, even though I use the computer and I have Easy Wallet, but sometimes I have to put a new ride in or call for certain things. You have us on hold for 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, and that's long distance for me. I'm here in Saraville, Middlesex County. My phone, that's long distance for me, that 973 number. And also as well, a shared ride is understandable. We know that move going on the program. We know it's a shared ride, 30-minute window. But to have us go places like the woman said earlier, and you pass someone's home to take somebody else somewhere out of our area, that's crazy. So whoever's scheduling the rides in transit, I don't know he or she are new, but it's been off for like a few months now. Because I've passed my home twice.
30 seconds
Some
remaining.
drivers will call it, some drivers will call it in, and fix that out of courtesy, but some of them will not. But other than that, I think it's an 800 number. The awards program needs to be revamped, and the shared ride, if it's not going in the same direction, don't be.
We lost your audio, and thank you for your comment.
Okay, our last virtual attendee with a question has their camera on and has been prompted to unmute themselves. Please give us your name before starting with your public comments.
Hi, okay, this is Oren Elman. He's going to be speaking. Okay, go ahead, Oren.
I just wanted to say that since I'm in a wheelchair, I appreciate what the bus driver does.
That's it?
Were you able to hear me?
Okay. I think they were able to hear you. Yeah.
Yes, we were. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, that's a wrap for virtual attendees with public comments.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
We will begin the presentations. However, we do have one in-person comment that I missed. Bobby Hill, are you still in the room? Okay. And also, we do have some comments that were submitted into the Q&A that Iris is actually going to read out loud, and then we'll begin our presentations.
Comment from Adila Quitis requests that drivers should not wait 10 minutes for a passenger to come out because people on vans can't miss their appointment at a doctor's office. That's inconsiderate of others' time. The next comment is anonymous. Hi, I have an issue with the Rider's Choice program. When the rider is a regular ride, the rate is abysmally higher, which eats up the voucher credit. New Jersey Transit needs to check on this matter. Most of us are on limited incomes. Thank you. The following statement is from Lisa Gilmartin. Lyft drivers have no idea how to deal with a blind person or even know they are picking up a blind person. Please reach out to Lyft to address these issues along with drivers not speaking English, and now they have a hearing issue to avoid communication when they can hear just fine. Also, is it true in Bergen County I can use 20 Lyft rides and 20 black and white cab rides per month for $2, paying the difference if the ride is over 20? Customer service says not to tip. The following statement is anonymous. I would like to comment, I love the access link. I would like to find out how to use Lyft/Uber I have heard about. The following statement is anonymous. Thank you for providing this wonderful, very convenient service overall. Can passengers use bus passes and tickets to pay? The following statement is anonymous. I have excellent service with drivers being very polite and helpful. I did send in a comment slip properly over 3 to 4 years ago. Driver returned my hat to me. I was grateful because I needed the hat and couldn't afford to replace it. Lately, I have had to call and cancel because of health issues, and I was very worried because I received a letter warning me I would lose the service, and I have to find an agency to help me so I won't lose the service. I need to thank Tiffany. And the final comment is from Gellart, Gellart. Oprah form, light blue on white, is 100% not accessible. I had to fill it out for a blind friend and would like to reiterate the 30-day expiration date on the tickets. Thank you.
Thank you, Iris. And our last public comment will be from Bobby Hill.
Good afternoon. My name is Bobby Hill. It's Bobbyhill. I'm a retirement from Montclair State University, and I was a sergeant at arms for the Union for 28 years. I want to thank, first of all, I got some comments for New Jersey Transit, but I also got some compliments. I want to thank New Jersey Transit for the service that they do, because I have a disability, my wife have a disability, and we had nothing before this to get us around to our meetings and to doctor visits and everything. So this is a privilege. We thank you very much for that. It's a privilege. For the other things that, that's the positive thing I have to say. The negative thing I have to say is some of us passionate, when we get on SS Link, we need to be very visual about the time that we make other folks wait.
30 seconds remaining.
We need to do that because you're in the house 15 minutes. The driver called and said no show. And then you come out and you run in the store. I seen that other day. Come on. Be considerate to other people got to go other places. All right? That's not a good thing. And the driver was very patient and called in and told her, wait. All right, you waited for the window. Now you got to wait another 5 minutes. That's disrespectful, okay? And there's some things that need to be done, and they need to get it together, especially for a handicap situation. The company need to get it together, but I'm finished. That's all I got to say.
Thank you for your comment, Mr. Hill. This concludes our public comment portion of the event. We would like to begin our presentations now. In the interest of time, we'll go through all of the presentations, and we'll have a Q&A session at the end, so please hold any questions you have until the end of the presentations. We'll have presentations on the following topics: train station accessibility projects, rail and bus training enhancement videos, communications and customer experience initiatives, and Access Link service and program updates. Our first presentation is by Capital Programs.
Thank you, Juliet. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eduardo Blanco. As Kevin had indicated earlier today, CEO of our company. I'd be touching base on several projects. I'm with the project management group here at Capital Programs, and I touched base on several projects last year from an accessibility standpoint. I will recap the status of those projects, as well as indicate a couple new projects coming online for our agency. Last year, we briefly touched base on Elizabeth train station, which was currently under construction. Some history about Elizabeth Station. It's located in the center of the Elizabeth, adjacent to Amtrak's Northeast Corridor, and it's served by a lot of our customers from Northeast Corridor, as well as North Jersey Coastline commuter train lines. The original train station was actually historic, and it's located at the lower level. Sometime in 1987, New Jersey Transit constructed an inbound and high-level platform with some platforms, walkways, some elevators, and stairways. Since then, obviously, our ridership has grown, and our average weekly passenger trips pre-COVID was somewhere around 6,850. This station was in desperate need of upgrades and the platform capacity, and there were safety needs as well. So the new station that we touched base on last year, it will be a new inbound and outbound station with about 1,000 foot of high-level platforms. It has new public address systems, CCT security, 4 new elevators, ramps, and it's one of our first design-build contract on a Northeast corridor. In this slide in front of you, towards the left, it is actually an aerial photograph of what's currently built today and completed. To the right side is a rendering of the actual project. As you can see the similarities, we built exactly what was there. This new elevator in front of you has a plaza, amenities such as a vendor space, some artwork, statue in the plaza, and 3 other additional elevator towers. In this slide before you is an elevator tower as well. Towards the left, in the center is a major part of the another elevator tower, as well as our access to the inbound and outbound station through a tunnel. The right side shows the accessible ramps towards the end of the station with decorative artwork. This slide in front of you shows another aerial aspect of the station. Sorry. And the station was actually opened in June of 2024 this year. We're very proud as an agency, and with our customers, we have nothing but accolades for the station. The next station I touched base with on last year was Perth Amboy Station. As you heard our CEO speak briefly about this, Perth Amboy Station was built originally in 1927. It's a historic station, as you see in front of you in some of the slides. It's located between Smith and Market Streets. The station will be made accessible, and then will include high-level platforms. The 2 new high-level platforms will be about 1,000 feet long, with as amenities as Elizabeth had previous public address system, CCT security systems, 4 elevators and ramps. It also has upgrades to the men's and women's restrooms on the eastbound building. These pictures in front of you show renderings of the potential station when it's completed. This slide in front of you is current construction. On the left side, you'll see the new composite platform, which is low in maintenance and extends all the way past Smith Street. It shows our new lighting. To the right slide, it shows our new elevator tower, as well as the new covered canopies and high-level platform currently under construction. This station is expected to be completed, as our CEO had indicated, sometime in summer of next year. This is another view looking towards the east side, showing the canopies as well as the high-level platforms. And to the right, you'll see our walkway, pedestrian walkway, connecting both eastbound and inbound and outbound station buildings. The last station I can give you a status up, which is currently under construction and also expected to be completed next year, is Lyndhurst Station. Again, our CEO has touched briefly on this. It's about 2 stops from New York Penn Station and about 2.5 miles from American Dream and MetLife Station. The original station, some history, is towards the end on the opposite side. It was built in 1913 and is currently in a state of disrepair. So the new choice to build a new station on the opposite side was a benefit, especially to some of our commuters. Next slide here indicates part of the new platform, inbound and outbound station buildings. As I indicated, it's located on Delafield Ave and Court Ave, near our commuter parking lot. It reflects a historic style. It has some decorative art and windscreens, as you can see in front of here. It also has new stairs, 4 new elevators, some lighting, canopies, CCTV, and a public address system. This last slide here shows the actual station buildings almost complete. We're looking forward to having that station open soon. This next station project, which our CEO has also touched base on, is located on the Morristown and Gladstone line. It's Brick Church Station. It's also a historic station. It was built in 1921. It's on an elevated side, but it doesn't have ADA accessibility currently. This project, as you can see in the schematic to the right, will have high-level platforms, a bunch of new amenities, raised canopies, elevators, and the construction expected to begin in August of 2027. Another project currently under design, which we're looking forward to as well, is Roselle Park Station. It is currently a high-level platform without accessibility access. This new project will give a new elevator, station amenities, some parking upgrades, and we expect that construction to begin sometime in August of next year. One of our other projects to give additional accessibility is in Long Branch. We're looking to install a new tunnel with this project. It's a pedestrian tunnel which connects from parking lot from one side to the other side. It will create ease for both east and west sides of the station. It will also have a new center aisle and elevator. And one of the last projects that we'll be doing accessibility on is Bradley Beach Station. It's currently a two-side low-level platform. It has a bus shelter and one historic station house. The improvements will extend this platform, make it high level, and include 2 new ramps for accessibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blanco. Our next presentation is on our rail and bus operations training enhancement videos.
Hi again, Ed Hoff in the Office of Civil Rights, and I'll be presenting with Rebecca Peralta on the subject of accessibility training enhancement videos. I just want to take a moment to break from that just for a second to recognize and thank everyone that's come in person today and certainly online. I know some of you have come great distances, some of them not so great distances, but you've put in the time and effort to come here and share with us your comments, and we really appreciate it. Although the comments were limited to 2 minutes, we wanted to make sure we could hear from everyone in a short amount of time. For those of you who couldn't stay for the full length of this presentation and for the full length of the forum, know that it's been recorded on YouTube and it will be available in a day or two. So hopefully you won't miss very much. So on with the presentation. Recognizing the effectiveness of video as a training tool, the Office of Civil Rights partnered with rail and bus training departments to produce a series of videos to enhance the current training curriculums relating to accommodating and interacting with customers with disabilities. The videos are based on actual incidents culled from customer complaints and feedback from rail crews and bus operators. Each video depicts a less than optimal interaction between the customer and the crew member or bus operator and includes specific actions the employee should take to mitigate that negative interaction. Scripts were prepared by the respective training departments. The videos were directed, shot, edited, and produced by the marketing department using mostly employees as actors. The scenarios for the rail training videos covered several topics, including accommodating customers with service animals. In that video, it's illustrated how to best interact with customers to ensure that those service animals are accommodated, those customers are accommodated appropriately. Another video was based upon guiding someone with a visual disability. That video shows the proper way to approach a customer with an apparent visual disability and offer assistance. And making announcements to help customers orient themselves while on board the train. Announcements can be a key to customers having difficulty reading signs or looking for landmarks to know what station they're currently at. The videos are integrated with the training curriculum that was administered to all rail crews last year and is now part of the new rail crew training. A special thanks goes out to our volunteer customer, Rick Fox, pictured here, and his dog guide, flash. And now I will turn it over to Rebecca Peralta to present the bus accessibility training enhancement videos. Rebecca?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rebecca Peralta, and I am the Deputy General Manager of Performance Assurance in the Surface Transit Division. Surface Transit encompasses both bus operations as well as light rail. I oversee the training programs for bus operators, bus maintenance employees, light rail operations, and surface transit management employees. Our operational training department is in charge of training new bus operators. In 2023, we trained and graduated more than 600 new operators. That was a record for us last year. In addition to new hire training, we provide classroom and field training to our existing operators. We train them on a host of topics, from new equipment to de-escalation techniques and more. Top-notch training related to serving customers with disabilities has been a key focus for my department. Years back, we created a classroom with accessibility equipment so that new students and operators could learn and refresh themselves on using our lifts, kneelers, and how to properly secure mobility devices. We have courses for both new hires and existing operators and run them out of our 2 training facilities, which are located here in Newark down the block on Ferry Street and also in Camden for our Southern Division employees. Here are a couple pictures of the classrooms I just mentioned, and again, they're set up at both of our training facilities. This year, in an effort to refresh our training materials to keep them relevant, we designed a new video focused on serving customers with disabilities for our bus operators. Scripts for our videos were written in-house, as Ed mentioned, and the video was produced in-house as well. One of the topics involved interacting with customers with service animals, as well as dealing with other customers on the bus who are exposed to the animals. Other scenarios involved customers using mobility devices and proper fare collection. These video scenarios were designed to be thought-provoking with a correct and incorrect interaction for each topic. A discussion after viewing both ways a situation was handled will allow operators to share thoughts and tips and discuss interactions that they themselves have had. In many cases, the scenarios will spark a discussion on how to communicate not only with the customer with the disability who they are serving, but also with other customers who might become irate because of some perceived delay because of boarding, or one who is concerned with the presence of a service animal, for example. We chose scenarios based on real-life situations. Operational training instructors see situations firsthand as they train new hires in the field every day. They also drew upon their own experiences, having been operators prior to becoming instructors. We strove to create videos that show how complex the job of an operator can be. They need to be skilled at handling equipment, including the accessible features of our buses, while also having the soft skills required to communicate effectively with all customers. We chose common situations and focus on how communication, and sometimes a bit of information for educational purposes, can make a huge difference in ensuring that all customers feel heard and respected. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Peralta. The next presentation is by Communications and Customer Experience.
Good afternoon. My name is Vaughn Williams. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer and Vice President of Communications and Customer Experience at NJ Transit. It's my pleasure today to present about our efforts to make NJ Transit even more welcoming to autistic and neurodiverse customers, including our Autism Acceptance Month activities and expansion of our Magnus Cards app content. And I may also have one additional marketing topic at the end. In April of this year, NJ Transit was pleased to once again celebrate Autism Acceptance Month through a series of activities across the system. We partnered with Happy Hour for Kids to give autistic and neurodiverse children the opportunity to record announcements that were played in stations across the NJ Transit system. I'll share a behind-the-scenes peek at that shortly. We also wrapped 2 buses in supporting graphics and messaging, which operated across the state throughout the month to drive awareness. We also were pleased to launch our 3rd set of Magnus cards, this time for light rail, which I'll also share more info about. Here's a picture of one of our beautiful buses, which traveled across the state throughout the month of April to celebrate and bring attention to autism acceptance. Now I'll share a brief behind-the-scenes clip of some of the children making their station recordings. These played across the NJ Transit system throughout the entire month of April, and we were thrilled to work with such great voice talent. It's working.
Download the New Jersey Transit mobile app. Attention passengers, this is Antonio Yacoviello, and I'm ready to go.
Decisive girl, I like it.
Autism Acceptable Month? Well, New Jersey Transit asked me to make an announcement about it. They also...
You can plan your trip, you can buy tickets, and get real-time trip updates right in the palm of your hand. Thank you.
Jersey Transit is letting me make an announcement as part of the Autism Acceptance Month. New Jersey Transit works hard to keep our stations and tracks clean, but you can help. Please use the garbage cans on the platform.
Next, I'd like to talk about our partnership with Magnus Mode. Magnus Mode is the maker of Magnus Cards, a mobile app that provides guides to help autistic and neurodiverse customers with everyday activities, including riding public transit. At the last Accessibility Forum, I was here to present about our second Magnus Card deck, or guide, which helps guide customers through their journey on NJ Transit trains. 2 years ago, we launched our first deck for NJ Transit buses. Today, I'm here to announce that we've expanded our content to now include NJ Transit Light Rail. Magnus Card decks provide visual, audio, and text-based information and guidance to help customers plan their trip, buy a ticket, board and ride the bus or train or light rail vehicle, enjoy a safe ride, and ride with a mobility device. Additional info about fares, trip planning, and navigating njtransit.com is woven throughout the experience. You may also recognize our modeling talent here, Henry, who has appeared in all of our Magnus Card decks and is a 2-time veteran of recording station announcements for us. Magnus Cards is completely free, available for iOS and Android devices. We also have more information and an introductory video on our website at njtransit.com/magnusmode. So I encourage you to download the app and take a look at all the great information in the app, not only for just NJ Transit, but for other public transit agencies and everyday activities. Finally, by way of a bonus announcement, I'd like to make you aware of a new messaging campaign that launched just after Labor Day. Did You Get the Message campaign is designed to promote awareness of all the ways that NJ Transit customers can get real-time service information and important updates. On the njtransit.com/myinfo webpage, we provide instructions for signing up for push notifications through the NJ Transit mobile app, signing up for email and text alerts, using Departure Vision for trains and MyBus and MyLightRail, and much more. Customers can follow individual Twitter or X accounts for each rail line and bus area, as well as Access Link. And we also provide the latest information about elevator statuses at our stations and facilities. We even have an Alexa skill for your Amazon Echo devices, so you can use your voice to get updates at home or on the go. Again, we encourage you to visit njtransit.com/myinfo and sign up to receive the latest service information and updates the way that you'd like to get them. With that, I'll turn it over to Chris Tucker from the Access Link team.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity to share some of the strategies that Access Link has implemented to address our key challenges. I'm Chris Tucker, the Director of Customer Experience for Access Link. Since our service launched in 1993, Access Link has grown to serve over 76,000 customers across the state. Our customers' needs are the driving force behind every innovation we pursue. Here's a snapshot of some of our major accomplishments. Access Link Online, launched in 2018. It empowers customers with instant access to vital Access Link functions. With a simple login using their customer ID and 4-digit PIN, customers can effortlessly book or cancel rides or monitor their ride status and stay informed with important announcements. The platform also provides a comprehensive view of a customer's profile along with a direct link to NJT rewards and a host of additional features that are designed to enhance the Access Link experience. In 2018, we introduced Easy Wallet, our electronic payment option. After an account is set up, Easy Wallet enables customers to pay fares without using cash or needing to provide exact change to the driver. Thousands of customers now use Easy Wallet and its auto top-up feature. Later in my presentation, I'll show a brief tutorial on how to set up and manage an Easy Wallet account. Launched in 2021, the Access Link mobile app offers another level of convenience. With this app, customers can request and manage their rides directly from their mobile phones, eliminating the need to call and speak to a live agent. Since April of 2023, we've been working to integrate transportation network companies that we call TNCs, like Uber and Lyft, into our Access Link services. In the initial phase that we called Rider's Choice 1.0, customers could choose to have their ride requests considered by a TNC partner. Our service providers would then move the ride to Uber or Lyft and send a notification that a TNC vehicle and a TNC driver would be handling the ride instead of an Access Link driver in an Access Link vehicle. This phase allowed customers to provide feedback on their ride experiences, and it helped our service providers test their scheduling and communication protocols. And while the rides under the 1.0 pilot were only available within the Access Link region where a customer lived, we worked hard to change that with our expanded 2.0 version. Now, since August, the Rider's Choice pilot offers even more options and flexibility. Customers can now make and manage their own TNC reservations. Rides are subsidized with vouchers and passes, and customers pay a minimal base fare of $2. Additionally, we've introduced VIA, which offers wheelchair accessible vehicles. VIA will be used to supplement the accessible vehicle fleet used by our provider in Essex, Morris, Somerset, and Union counties. It should be noted that customers who do not want to travel with a TNC provider are still able to make a reservation for an Access Link vehicle with an Access Link driver. To date, thousands of customers are participating in the Rider's Choice pilot. For more information on the TNC provider availability or to find the necessary opt-in forms, please visit accesslink.newjerseytransit.com. Replicant, our virtual assistant, is another key part of the solution to one of our biggest challenges, which is long phone wait times. By leveraging artificial intelligence, we've enhanced our phone system to offer a faster option for next-day reservations and ride cancellations. Replicant is especially beneficial for customers who don't have access to the Access Link website or mobile app. Replicant is the third option for customers to manage their reservations without needing assistance from a live agent. Access Link is committed to continuously improving our services to better support customers with disabilities. To make the most of these enhancements, Access Link customers are encouraged to 1, download our mobile app, 2, use Access Link online, 3, establish an Easy Wallet account and use the auto top-up feature, 4, opt into the Rider's Choice pilot, 5, sign up for NJT alerts, 6, cancel rides at least 2 hours in advance, and 7, ensure that we have your most current contact information. We believe that these 7 steps will help customers stay informed and make their experience with AccessLink as smooth as possible. Hundreds of customers have actively participated in volunteer opportunities to help test new services and initiatives. I see some of them in the audience right now. Their questions and concerns are reviewed and addressed by the NJ team members leading the projects. This commitment to engagement empowers our customers and enables us to offer more effective services and initiatives, which in turn enhances the overall customer experience, as is reflected in our improved customer satisfaction scores. We have more plans for building on our recent successes. We are preparing a training to enhance communication with our deafblind customers. We're exploring driver recruitment and retention options. We're enhancing the Rider's Choice pilot with the addition of wheelchair accessible vehicles. And remember, this pilot partnership with VIA will start in Essex, Morris, Somerset, and Union counties. Our goals continue to be decreasing long ride times, improving on-time performance, reducing phone wait times, and facilitating frequent customer engagement and offering quick updates about service issues and concerns. As I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, we've created short videos to help customers learn how to use some of our newer services. These videos will soon be available on our AccessLink webpage. But here's a short how-to video about Easy Wallet. Let's take a look. If it works.
AccessLink Easy Wallet. Overview, Setup and Auto, Top Up. Once you log into AccessLink online or the mobile app, tap the drop-down menu. You can view your Easy Wallet balance from the drop-down menu. Select the Easy Wallet tab from the menu. The tab will start in the Wallet page with an Easy Wallet introduction. What is Easy Wallet? Easy Wallet is AccessLink's cashless electronic payment option. You can prepay your rides, add money to your account, and track your payment history, all online. In the Wallet tab, you can add balance. To add money, establish a payment option using a credit, debit, or gift card. Once your payment profile is set up and funded with at least $25, you can use your wallet to pay for your AccessLink fares. It's that easy. Transactions. The Transactions tab is located in the middle of the bottom section. The Transactions tab is where you are able to view your transaction history. Simply select the year and month from the drop-down that you would like to view your transactions. It's that easy. Auto Top Up. The Auto Top Up tab is located on the right of the bottom section. Enter the desired amount that you would like to automatically be added to your wallet within the deposit field. The threshold field is the desired amount that your wallet must be at in order for your account to be replenished. You can input at least $25 in the deposit field and anywhere from $20 to $50 in the threshold field. Add a payment option of credit, debit, or gift card if you have not already. Finally, submit the payment and enjoy Auto Top Up.
Well, thank you for watching. We hope you find our how-to videos to be valuable and informative. We're also excited to share an opportunity, an important opportunity. AccessLink customers are invited to join Access Nature. This statewide campaign is dedicated to improving accessibility to New Jersey's public lands for people with disabilities. If you're interested in getting involved or learning more, please reach out to Access Nature by calling 609-859-8860 or visiting their website at accessnaturenj.org. We encourage you to participate in this meaningful initiative to help make positive change. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker. That completes our presentations for today. Thank you all for joining us for the presentations. We will now start our question and answer session. We ask that during the session, if you do have any questions, that they are based on the presentations that you received today. For purposes of clarity, please direct your question to a specific presenter on the topic that they presented on. Any questions that are asked beyond the scope of these presentations will be recorded and we may be addressed as a follow-up to this forum. For those of you attending in person today, if you wish to ask a question, you can either form a line at this podium here, or you can raise your hand and Jeanette will bring the microphone around. And for those of you joining us virtually, if you wish to ask a question, please click the raised hand icon on the bottom ribbon of your screen, and you'll be called in the order that your hand is raised. And you can also ask a question in the Q&A box that Iris can read out loud if you choose to do so. So we'll start with those present in the room. If anyone has a question, either please raise your hand. Looks like we have one over there, Jeanette. All right. And please also just say your name and spell it for the sign language interpreters.
My name is Philip Harrison, Philip. For Chris Tucker, I wanted to know the status of arrival time, or what you might call destination time scheduling. I know you had started a pilot program on that. As far as I know, it's defunct now. What is the status of arrival time scheduling?
If you're referring to our appointment time booking pilot, is that what you're referring to?
That sounds right, yes.
Yes, so that pilot has started. We do have a number of volunteers who are helping us test it out across the state. I mean, we are open, to have more people help us out if you'd like to volunteer for that.
I would. I had called up asking to volunteer, and they were going to get back to me. They hadn't, but yes, I would like to volunteer for the program.
All right, I'll make sure that someone is in contact with you to get that set up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison.
Would you like to ask a question?
Yeah, I have two questions. The first one is, with the LIFT program that you all have, isn't it there a number that can be directed to LIFT? And if there is an emergency and you try to deal with LIFT and you can't deal with LIFT and you call access lane, isn't there a number or you can represent us? Because I have tried several times and they give you an 800 number to deal with LIFT and it's not working. You go to gift card and that gift card is not working. So can we have a specific number that if you don't want to do it on behalf of us, but we can go directly to LIFT and ask them the question? Like in my case, over 2 weeks, I haven't gotten my phone, and that's disgraceful. I tried to get Asalin to help me. They said they can't help me. I'm on my own with LIFT, and I think I shouldn't be on my own with LIFT because you still represent us. That okay, when I try, I fail, you should help me to do that. And my second question, I love to help or love to work. Why you don't hire some of us who love to help our fellow brothers and sisters disabled, but you hire people all the time, Florida, other places, who are not sensitive to our needs? Why you don't hire me? I need a job. Why you don't hire me?
So in reference to your first concern with LIFT,
yeah,
and you made the reservation with LIFT through the Writer's Choice 2.0 pilot.
Yeah.
Okay. So Access Link doesn't have any information about your reservation.
I did
because
it. I gave them, sent them all the information.
You made the reservation from your phone or from your computer with the LIFT company.
Yes.
So the first course if you have a concern, is to communicate with Lyft. And it seems as though you've done that,
Yeah.
and it hasn't been successful.
And I
So-
carry, and I send it to them, all my information, I send it to Asselin, and still they say they
So-
can't help me.
So I can have my team do some extensive research to
Yeah.
try to help you out.
Yeah.
But, ultimately, if you are making a choice
Yeah.
to make a reservation with Lyft,
Yeah.
that's outside of the Access Link umbrella, then my staff won't have any information about that ride. Now, we can try on the back end to help you get you said you left was it your phone or your keys? I'm sorry.
My phone, with
There you-
all my information on that phone.
Okay, we can try to help you get your phone back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have one of my team members come over and make sure that we have your name
Yeah.
and the best contact information for you,
Yeah.
so that we can assist you with communicating with Lyft and hopefully getting your property back.
Okay. On the second question?
You asked a question in reference to employment.
Yes.
I don't have any information about that to share with you today.
Because some of us, we are most sensitive to the need of our brothers and sisters. We would be good advocate to help and, treat, because some of them, sometimes we talk to some of the staff is not so sensitive to our needs. And so having someone like me who passionate about this area of people working, I think would be a plus for you.
I certainly appreciate that, but it's beyond the scope of what I'm prepared to speak about today.
Okay.
Thank you. It looks like we don't have any more in-person questions, so we'll move on to our virtual participants. Christian, do we have any participants virtually who'd like to ask a question? Christian, do we have any?
Hello?
Yes, you may ask your question, Mr. Allen.
Yes, I actually, I don't know how to get rid of the feedback. The echo. Do the best I can, I'm sure I did, I probably will, say the feedback,
We're having trouble hearing you, Mr. Allen.
you hear me now?
No, we
Can you
can't.
hear me?
Okay, you can ask your question?
I actually wanted, I've been waiting to make the statement that
I'm sorry. We can't hear you, but you can read your statement. We just aren't able to hear you right now.
all right. Is it going on for the record?
You can submit it to us. Yeah, you can submit it in writing.
I'm David Peter Allen. In the past, I have served as chair of the Senior Citizens Transportation Advisory Committee, SCATTERTAC, and the Lackawanna Coalition. I remain a member of both. I made this statement in my personal capacity. I must clarify something that Kelly J. Geller, our chair, said earlier. SCATTERTAC meetings take place on Monday, not on Thursday. I am thoroughly familiar with the rail scene here at New Jersey Transit and that I'm also familiar with accessibility issues that as a non-motorist who depends on transit because of depend on New Jersey Transit for all of us.
Mr. Allen, we are having trouble understanding you. We are happy to take your comment in writing. You can submit it to us.
That's really a little use effort, I think.
Okay, Christian, can you please go on to the next question? We'll talk to Mr. Allen offline.
Of course, our next question comes from Christopher. Christopher, I'll go ahead and ask you to unmute at this time.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Christopher D. Grice. I have a question that regarding accessible stations that you mentioned in your project. When you are building the station and making it easier for motorized wheelchairs, walkers, even strollers, are you checking the balance of the platform, that it's even, like my hand, this one here is the train, but this hand is the platform, are even. And signages are larger print. The other part of the station I like to add is, are you gonna be using any accessibility assistance buttons? Because Long Island Railroad uses them, and this would be another way to alert the customer, alert the driver and the conductor there is an accessible customer. That could be a senior or a disabled person, or someone who doesn't show a disability.
I'll take that question. This is Ed Hoff. Yes, of course, our station, we have guidelines and standards for New Jersey Transit that are based upon the minimum requirements of the ADA, but certainly a lot of what is in our guidelines and standards go well beyond those minimum requirements. So we're very much aware to make level boarding as level as possible. Perhaps you were trying to also describe side slope, or I'm not sure if you're talking.
Even platforms.
Yeah, level, you're talking about level boarding, so that the platforms are level with the interior floor of the car. Of course, we design to that standard, we also have bridge plates everywhere there's level boarding to ensure that the gap is completely eliminated when boarding somebody, either with a mobility device or anyone that requests a bridge plate, even if they don't use a mobility device but may have difficulty crossing that gap. Just remind me of your second question. I forgot what that was.
The second question is, Long Island Railroad, and soon Metro North will be using this. It's called, you have maybe the health point button.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just finish so that some people are looking at me like, huh? The second button should be called an accessibility button that will catch, you press it, and it's like a homing signal, like an orange color. That means there's an accessible customer at that point of the station that needs assistance, meaning the train cannot leave the station until you get the person on the train. And then the conductor can just cancel, it means the train is clear to leave.
Yeah, we don't need to go there. We have trained all of our frontline employees, including all rail crew members, to be on the lookout all the time for anyone needing assistance. We've also made it clear to our customers in all of our communications that if you do need assistance, the key to getting that assistance is to find a crew member. That's the thing that has to happen, is there has to be a meeting between the crew member and the customer. The customer should locate themselves in an area where they can be seen, so that unfortunately during inclement weather you might be under a canopy somewhere. We've also, all of our crew members are responsible to ensure that to look for anybody that needs assistance, whether they are out in the open or within canopies, to seek out and assist anybody with that. Thereby negating the need for a button, and thereby negating the need for a customer to do something in addition to simply trying to board the train.
I'm just going to say this clearly and quick. I think you may need to try this out as a test pilot in the near future, because something like that, a person cannot move their hands if they're by themselves. Not everyone can move their joints, and to let them know. There are some conductors don't pay close attention if the platform is very crowded. So I think you may need to think about that a little more. It has been working very well with Long Island Railroad and soon on the Metro North territory. And I'm just saying, because not all conductors do pay attention. They're just worrying about getting on the train. But if we're in a certain angle under that canopy, or not even near the canopy, not every one conductor does come out. And I have seen this on your Bergen Line branch sometimes, as well as the Northeast Corridor. So I would suggest if we can do a pilot test in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christian, are there additional questions?
Yes, we have another question from Amanda. Amanda, I'll go ahead and ask you to unmute at this time.
Hi, good afternoon. I just, before I ask my question, I want to thank everyone for giving this forum for Access Link customers and anybody using New Jersey Transit. With that being said, I do appreciate all that New Jersey Transit does and what Access Link does for people with disabilities. If I didn't have Access Link, I wouldn't be able to get to some of the places that I need to get to. So I want to thank you for all that. But I guess this question is for Kim. As I said in my opening statements, Access Link has been saying that they're going to be expanding routes, and as I stated, I'm literally a mile outside of the radius. I used to live in Ocean County, which I was in the radius, but I am in Atlantic County now, and I'm out of the radius. But with that being said, Access Link has been saying since August of this year that they're expanding routes, but really nobody really has any direction on where they're expanding the routes to. Do you have any insight to that?
I'll take that question. You know, reference to the service area for Access Link, if you have a specific address that you would like my team to take a look at, you can be in contact with the customer service department. You would call us at 973-491-4224 and take option number 5. When one of the customer service representatives answers the phone, you can let them know that you are a current Access Link customer and you would like to know if your home, where your home address falls within the expansion.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your question. Christian?
Okay, our next question comes from our next guest. If you can please unmute yourself at this time, you should be able to give us your name and start with your question.
Oh, hi, yeah. Okay, Sally Gellert, Gellert. A few questions. One on the accessible.
Have any questions for Chris? Yes, I wanted to ask about interpretation. I assume we're on the.
I think,
sorry.
Sally, go ahead and ask a question. If there's anybody else, please mute yourselves.
Okay, yes, Sally Gellert, Gellert. On the new capital projects, have you considered ramps instead of elevators for 2 reasons? 1, there are no technical components that need maintenance and that can fail, and 2, cost savings in construction. Regarding the announcements on trains, you've got a translucent opaque window problem that makes it harder for everyone to know what station they're at. That's a systemic issue. Lackawanna Coalition is asking for a website with details on how you're resolving it. There was one more. Oh, for the last, the gentleman who commented about a button for riders needing assistance, I know you're worried about not making riders do something, but you know, people are really willing to push a button to get some help if they know it's reliable. So how does a customer know where to find a crew member? For instance, if they're standing on a long platform, they're a new passenger unfamiliar with the station, if there were a clearly marked button, that would be where you would go. Otherwise, people are confused. So those are my questions. Thank you. And comments.
Hi, Sally, this is Ed Hoff. In a lot of stations, we have redundancy between elevators and ramps for various reasons, but one is we want to provide the maximum number of ingress and egress points on a platform, and where appropriate, where possible, we do either redundant elevators, more than one elevator going to the same places, but maybe spread apart a little bit, as well as ramps. So we do consider that in all cases. So obviously, if we're talking about elevated stations where the difference in elevation is, you know, greater than 10 feet or, you know, maybe as much as 20 feet, ramps are just not suitable. They just make it, perhaps only in an emergency situation would they be usable, certainly not in the up direction. So we take all that into consideration when we do design of rail stations. As far as the, I got the third question, but remind me what the middle question was.
The second was just really not 100% for this forum, but the inability to, you know, if there's no announcement, to see out the window to see what station.
Yeah, we are. I'm sorry, we don't have that ready to speak about, but I know that there's an effort underway, as we mentioned at the last accessibility forum. And if you provide that question to us, we'll certainly respond to it, but we got to get the right people to answer that.
Understood, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gellert. Christian?
Yes, our next question comes from Oren. Oren, I'll go ahead and give you permission to unmute yourself at this time.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi. Okay, my question is, when you were talking about the Uber and Lyft, I thought I heard you say something about an expanded area. Now, I don't know if you were just talking about what she talked about just recently about expanding the areas in general, or if you were saying that if you use the Uber or Lyft, that they have an expanded area past what the regular vehicles do. I wasn't sure about that. Could you clarify that, please?
The Lyft service, which is a part of our Rider's Choice pilot, Lyft and Uber services are only available in the same areas that Access Link would travel. So a
Okay,
customer,
so that's the exact same area. Okay. All right. So my question was already answered then about you are expanding some of the areas though for the vehicles in general. That I know just a couple of questions ago that we were talking about that. The person was talking about that.
I'm not sure that I understand your question.
Well, you said there's a number to call to find out if your home is in the expanded area.
Right.
You said,
So with the Access Link program, we have a service area. In the service, the Access Link vehicles travel in the same areas and during the same times as the local fixed route services. So there are some people who are concerned or curious about whether or not where they live or where they want to travel is now a location that an Access Link vehicle can go to. If that is your question, then you can certainly give us a call with very specific information, and then we can tell you yes or no whether or not the address that you're inquiring about falls within the Access Link service area.
okay, that's great. And that's something that's already been done. That's something projected for the future, correct?
No, that's something that we're doing now. I mean, anyone can check to confirm the service area for Access Link.
Okay, and how late, and that number you gave out, how late are they open?
4:30?
4:30, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question.
Okay.
Okay, our next question comes from Michael. Michael, I'll go ahead and prompt you to unmute yourself at this time. Michael, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, yes. I have a quick comment and two questions. I'll try to make it very brief. First, quick comment. I don't know if anyone is aware on the board, but when it comes to the TNC program, the Rider's Choice program, the utilization of Lyft and Uber, obviously each company has their own policies, and the expectation is that any Access Link policy would override, we would expect, any particular policy from those companies. But I happen to be aware that people, just in general, even when they have a Uber account, and I'm speaking of Uber specifically now, that do not follow up with their trips to rate their drivers, which is standardized for using Uber, regardless if they're vouchers or passes. If they don't do so, they come at risk of having their account banned. Now, not just having an incident with the driver, but not participating and not rating drivers puts a rider's account at risk. Now, that stunned me in the sense that if that were to happen, where riders using it through the Access Link program didn't do so, had that happened, they would be banned from the program, from the service. I just wanted to raise that because that has happened prior to this. I don't have to address that now, but I wanted to raise that. That is a concern. I hope that it will be addressed in the future, that policies from Access Link override any policies from Uber or Lyft. But my two questions, and my first question is directed to anyone present, Ms. Tucker, Mr. Hoff, anybody. I touched earlier about, and I mentioned earlier during my comment, I had said that it's surprising to me if this is the first time anyone brought up what I had raised, and that was the inability for those in Hudson or Bergen County to continue their paratransit trip into New York State due to the fact that neither Access Link nor the MTA's Accessory Ride program will have a handoff spot. Each will come to the end of the George Washington Bridge and not cross it, which is just stunning. It's hard to imagine. Now I know most river crossings are monitored, under the purview of the Port Authority. But I'm just wondering, because I can't imagine this the first time it's been raised with either paratransit agency, is if this has been attempted before, and if, as far as who's present here, is aware, has NJ Transit tried to address this? Have they come into any roadblocks? Is it a Port Authority issue? Is it, or has no one actually tried to make, have that meeting of the minds with the MTA at the least to address this, so those people can continue the paratransit trip literally blocks away to cross the river? And finally, the last thing I just want to mention, when it comes to the New Jersey Transit Access Link app, if someone were to log in, it asks for your username and password. But when you call, if you need support, when you call New Jersey Transit regarding it, literally the department that would help you with any issues says there is no password, it's a PIN. Now, it is a PIN number, it's the last 4 digits of your phone number, but the app doesn't actually use the same terminology. And so it is confusing when someone might think when they're entering their password that it could be alphanumeric, as most passwords are, the letters and numbers, characters. No, it can only be a PIN number. And the app has not been updated to actually indicate, well, to let people know it's a PIN number, it has to be numbers. So I want to mention as a comment, but I'm more interested specifically in the question regarding paratransit crossing the river. If anyone present can address whether that's been addressed before and what has happened. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. That question is beyond the scope of what we covered today in our during our presentations, but we're happy to follow up with you if you would like to leave your information in the Q&A box. And I believe your other question about Chris might be able to ask.
So in reference to the Access Link mobile app, when customers become eligible for Access Link, they receive information in writing that tells them that their PIN for the app is the last 4 digits of their phone number. That's something that we communicate thoroughly with our customers. So I believe that most customers, are aware of that.
Thank you for your question. Christian?
Yes, our next question comes from our current guest. I've just asked you to unmute yourself. Please let us know your name before starting with your question.
Sure. Adam Reich, ADAMREICH. My question is going to be for Ed Hoff on the rail training videos, but just quickly an observation only because it was related to one of Sally Jane Gellert's questions. Sally brought up the question of basically, how do you find somebody for assistance? I just want to note that under New Jersey Transit's existing policies, when you allow a train crew to close off a car, technically they're allowed to ride in that closed car. And I just note that it can complicate the ability to ask for assistance, particularly if you have a mobility impairment where you maybe can't get through the vestibule or can't move through multiple multi-level coaches. So just something to consider. As to my question, Mr. Hoff, you touched briefly on some of the topics the rail training videos include. Is there anything on invisible disabilities like mental impairments or let's say somebody who's in a high-risk category? If so, could you maybe just briefly discuss what that encompasses? Only because I've had some past issues, and you've noted in the past how with disability accommodations requests, they're often on the spot. So I'm just curious if the videos address this in some way, and if they don't, could we perhaps talk offline? I could give you some information about some underlying incidents, and that could inform training on this sort of topic going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. The answer is yes. We, in both on the bus and rail side enhancement videos, we addressed customers with who may or may not display an inability to communicate well, perhaps because of, or perhaps they're communicating well, but you may not pick up on the fact that they're having difficulty in understanding instruction. And then there's also videos that address people who have difficulty identifying where they are or being able to communicate where they need to go. And so those are can be hidden disabilities. Certainly people with mobility disabilities can also be hidden. A person can attempt to board the bus and ask for the bus lift, but they don't use a wheelchair or any adaptive equipment, no cane or anything. So in a sense, that's a hidden disability. And yes, those videos do address those cases.
Just only because, pardon me if I'm misinterpreting, it sounded almost a little more like the focus on those topics was a little more of a cognitive or communicative issue. Do you have anything that covers something that, let's say, if somebody has is in a high risk category or has a mental condition like anxiety, for example? Is there anything that the videos touch on sort of in that sense, or if not,
well, understand
that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Understand that the videos are not comprehensive and that they cover every aspect of everything. We based our scenarios on those most prevalent issues, as I mentioned in the presentation, that we've culled from both the experiences of customers and our frontline employees, and that's where we address the videos. So certainly the videos may not cover every aspect.
Understood. And if those are topics you could perhaps consider, or if we could discuss offline, that would be tremendously appreciated. I'll leave it there, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Christian?
Okay, we have another guest. I've just prompted to unmute yourself. Please go ahead and unmute yourself and give us your name before you starting with your question. Are you there? I just prompted you to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My name is Michelle Terpak, MICHELE TERPAK. First, I'd like to say that I appreciated the advancements you guys made as far as the rider's choice, the Easy Wallet, and the app. And my question is actually pertaining to the app. When I try to use it, because I don't always have 60 to 90 minutes to hang on hold, I try to book a trip that I know that I can go to, like Walmart, for example. There were 3 in my immediate area that when I call, they find the locations. But when I key in Walmart on the app, all I get is North Jersey or very far down South Jersey when I live in Middlesex County. Or I get that there are no times available, or the app tells me I can't access it at times. But when I call, there are times available and they have no problem finding it. So I don't understand how come the app can't access this information.
Michelle, and one of the components of using the mobile app and also using Access Sync Online and make it easier for users is if you have the addresses kind of hard-coded into your account. So you can contact us and you can say, you know, I want to go to this Walmart and I want it added in as a frequent location. So that way,
I already have stuff in my frequent location that I don't want to take out, just to add something that I go to maybe once a month or once every other month.
So
you
with
guys
the,
only have 5 frequent locations.
So Michelle, with the frequent locations, I mean, they are limited. So if you don't want to add one in, then your only other option is then to call on the phone to get assistance with making
It's
that
not that I
reservation.
don't want to add them in. I have, like I volunteer. Once in a while, I have to take you guys when MCAT doesn't run. So I have that in there as a frequent location so I can do it myself. So it's not something that I want to take out.
And so
But I don't understand
you are
if
limited
stuff is
to
within
the,
your ridership area. I don't understand how come the app doesn't pull it up.
well, maybe that's a technical issue that I'm not able to answer. So if you could put that information in writing and submit it to us, I can have our IT team take a look at it. Because if it's a technical concern, I wouldn't be able to solve it for you today.
Yeah, because I've already tried uninstalling and reinstalling and it didn't work.
We can certainly get you some assistance.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your question. Christian.
All right, our next question comes from Michael. Michael, you go ahead and be prompted to unmute at this time.
Hi. I'm sorry. I had raised my hand again to find out how to submit my contact information, and Ms. Pagan is addressing that.
Great.
Okay, thank you. Our next question comes from Christopher. Christopher, I'll go ahead and prompt you to unmute at this time.
Yes, again, I do have a question about your training procedures. It's a little bit, it's nice to see you guys are dealing with the artistic spectrum, but I want to be very clear that, what I've been seeing for the last, years already, I'm not going to say how long because it's years. We need to see, I'm glad you guys are doing that, but just please let's be clear on training that there are all different types of disabilities out there from all types, from intellectual. Some people still use the word M and R, which is, in training letters in New York City, there is an M and R, and that is a diagnosis. But there are so many disabilities out there. I just hope to see that next year, when trainings are coming in, and what I'm hearing, we just need to remind even the seniority staff that disabilities, there are different types of disabilities that need to remember that we're out there too in the community for those trainings. And also, I hope in the future you guys also work on something like an NJ Care Division, something to assist the customers in your major hubs like Newark Penn Station, New York City Penn Station, Trenton, and other stations in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Michelle. Michelle, I'll go ahead and prompt you to unmute at this time.
Okay, I had my question already.
Okay, great.
Okay. I've prompted our next attendee to unmute at this time. Please give us your name before starting with your question.
Hello, my name is Michael Loberfeld. My last name is spelled L-O-B as in boy, E-R, F as in Frank, E-L-D as in David. First of all, I've been taking Access Link for the past 7 or 8 years. Before that, I took the fixed route bus and train. I take Access Link due to mental illness. And the first thing I want to say, even though it's a comment, is that I really feel very fortunate to be living in a state with where I have had access to the bus and train, and now have access to Access Link. I feel very lucky, and I really think they're both excellent. And not only is the service excellent and the employees, but I found customer service in both entities to be very responsive when I call customer service. So I just wanted to make that comment first of all. And I feel very lucky to have these services that I can use. Aside from that, I did have a little question, and I did step away from my computer earlier, so I don't know if this possibly was addressed already. But when I called customer service a few months ago for Access Link, the person I spoke with said that there might be something coming called appointment scheduling, where the driver would try to have you to the location about a half hour or so, at least, before when you need to be there. This would be useful for me because I have a lot of long distance trips, because I make presentations and I sometimes take long distance trips. So I just was wondering if there's any update on if this is in effect, because it would be, currently I sometimes get there like 2 or 3 hours early to make sure I'm not late, if I'm taking a long trip. But if there was appointment scheduling, I might not have to leave quite so early if I was assured that I could get there by the time I need to make a presentation. And the other little comment I had is just when I'm scheduling the long transfer trips, and there's no time is coming up in the system for long transfer trips. I suggested to customer service that instead of me requesting a time and it can be scheduled an hour earlier or an hour after by scheduling of Access Link by the scheduling department, it would be good if I could state my preference, because sometimes I want to leave 3 p.m. or later, but I don't want to leave any earlier than 3 p.m. So if I could say between 3 and 5, the window could start, but my preference is 3, not 4. So that way they would know where to look for that trip in the first, if they could find it first. Thank you so very much.
So Michael, the pilot that you're referring to is appointment time booking. So we can add you in, to the group of customers who are helping us test that. And essentially what happens is you can make a reservation with a reservationist, with a live agent, and you can request a time for you to be picked up for the ride, or a time for us to come back and pick you up. You can only have one set appointment time for each trip. So if you needed to be picked up at home and you need to be to a certain location, you could say, I'd like an appointment time to be dropped off by 5 o'clock. And our system will work with you to make sure that happens. So if you'd like to be added onto that pilot program, which is available, you can make sure that we have your information and can have someone contact you to make sure that we put you into that pilot. I'm sure that you'll be able to help us out a great deal as we're working out the kinks with that.
Great, thank you. That concludes the participants who are virtual and their questions. We do have 3 questions that were submitted that Iris is going to read out loud and direct them to a presenter.
This next question is an anonymous question to Ms. Tucker. Any future plans to open Access Link's Rider's Choice Pilot 2.0 Lyft/Uber to outside the service area?
At this time, we do not have any plans to expand the service area for Access Link.
The next question is also to Ms. Tucker from Mike Tanucci, M-I-K-E, last name Tanucci. Has Access Link made an effort to allow more people to know about this fantastic program upon retiring or becoming disabled? I found out about this on accident on Nextdoor.com almost 9 years ago after becoming disabled. I have 0 complaints. Everyone is terrific and kind. Thank you.
We do have a robust program for doing outreach across the state, and we also have information that's available through New Jersey Transit Online. We have multiple partners around the state who help us get information out about the paratransit services and New Jersey Transit's accessible services. So I'm glad you finally found out about it. I'm sorry that it took so long.
And this last question is also anonymous. Is the Uber option available in Middlesex County? The ride would be from Carteret to Metuchen. Also, how long does it take to be approved and then receive the vouchers?
So in reference to whether or not a customer can use the Rider's Choice program to go from one address to another, I don't have enough information to answer that question. That's a very specific question, so we need to have the origin address and the ending address and the time frame. So for that particular question, you're encouraged to send that question in so that we can review it thoroughly. I believe that the second part of the question was, how long does it take to become eligible? I'm not sure if that's for Access Link in a whole, so I'm going to answer it that way. We have a statewide paratransit eligibility process. Customers who come to us and say that they want to apply for services, generally they're finding out within 10 business days whether or not they're eligible for the service. And the third part of the question, if you could repeat that for me.
That's all.
Oh, that's it?
It was how long does it take to be approved and then receive the vouchers?
Okay. Yeah, so you can't get the vouchers until you're approved. If you're approved, then you'll be eligible to get the vouchers.
Thank you. And so that concludes all the questions that we have from our participants today. I thank you all for your participation and for coming in and for engaging with us throughout this program. I will now turn it over to Mr. Ed Hoff to make our closing remarks.
Hi again. As I mentioned earlier, after the comment period, I really want to thank everybody who's still here today, and those online who stuck with us through all those periods and this extended time. Thank you all for giving us all that feedback. This concludes today's forum, but not the conversation. As I mentioned at the start of the forum and continuation, it's a continuation of an extensive discussion on the subject of accessibility. By the end of this week, we will post a survey on our website to get your feedback on today's event and how we can improve it for the future. The survey will ask about any additional comments you may have regarding accessibility. So if you didn't make a comment today, you will have that opportunity via the survey. And within the next day or so, an edited video of this forum will also be available on our website at njtransit.com/accessibility. Thank you again for joining us for today's forum. Please have a safe and wonderful evening. Thank you.